Hello and welcome to Windsor Park. 20 rounds have come and gone. We're up to round 21, the final round of the 2021 Tasmanian State League season. The Launceston Blues playing host to the Lauderdale Bombers. My name is Anthony Osborne in the commentary box for you this afternoon alongside Ryan Rosendale. And we've got a game here that isn't going to have direct finals implications, Ryan, but we have a Launceston side. We'll go through some of the changes in a moment. That has, I suppose, really going to give the chance to some fringe players to have a shot on the eve of finals, and a Lauderdale team that's going to look to take a big scalp and finish season 2021, a year that's been rather challenging for the club, but an opportunity for them to finish it with a bang and claim a big scalp. Yeah,
thanks, Oz. Welcome everyone to the live stream, and as you said, Oz, 6 changes for the Blues today at home, so definitely a chance for some guys that maybe could be, as you said, on the fringe come that first final next week to put their stamp in this team and make it hard for Coach Mitch Thorpe come in next week, and when he decides if he needs to bring guys like Michael Musica and Fletcher Seymour, Cody Thorpe, Jake Hines, Miller Hodge and Jacob Boyd, who are all, I think, being rested today. So all 6 the usual walk-up stuff in this Blues outfit. So if either some of these guys can come in, as we said, and they've been playing good footy in the Development League, come out and have a good performance against the Bombers today, it'll give headaches for Coach Mitch Thorpe next week, there's no doubt about that.
Certainly will, and I mean, what better a chance to, what better stage, I suppose, to really mount a case that you're ready for senior football. The last round of the year ahead of a finals campaign when you're guaranteed to finish as minor premier. Yep. I think these young guys who are in the team this week, guys like Hyatt, Jaden Hines, Bowen Pearce, Sam Foley, these sort of guys, they've got a real opportunity this afternoon, and I think, for them to put their names up in lines, as you said, it's going to make it really tough for them to make their way out of the team for some of their higher profile teammates next week.
And they're guys that have played regular senior footy throughout the season too, so they're not guys that have played the whole season in the D League and they've come in for the last game of the year. They're guys that Mitch Thorpe knows can cut it at this level, so it'll just be a case of if they can put in a good performance today, and especially a guy like Hamish Leader, who's, we know what a start he's been across the TSL for a number of years now. He's probably played the last 2 seasons really a lot in the Development League with the emergence of Cody Thorpe this year and Joe Gronewegan last year and this year. So if he can come in today and really win that ruck battle against the big man from the Bombers in Hayden Smith, he might make it incredibly tough for Mitch Thorpe next week when he has a decision on who his number 1 ruckman's going to be come that first final against North Launceston.
Exactly right. And then touching on Lauderdale, it's been a challenging year for them. They've had some promising results throughout parts of the season. They're going to finish the year in we're assuming in 5th place, depending on other results today, with so far 5 wins and 12 losses. If they can get win number 6 on the board against Lonnie, it's going to do them a world of good. 2 changes for the Lauderdale Bombers today, with Billy Rolfe and Nat Franklin coming in. Great to see Nat Franklin getting a game after a series of nasty hand injuries. On the other side of that, Will Francis and Liam Gallagher, not the Oasis frontman Liam Gallagher, I believe. I don't know if he has a brother by the name of Noel, but he's out of the side today as well. So, again, a good opportunity for Rolfe and Franklin to finish the year in good form as well.
Yeah, and obviously the Bombers, they played Danny early in the year, and they had a pretty good performance against Launceston. They obviously got done by a fair few goals, but they had a really good performance. And again in round 14 down at Skybus, they had a pretty dismal 3 quarters, but their last quarter was exceptionally well. I think they kicked 7 goals, and I think Josh McGuinness was the beneficiary with 6 of those, and he kicked 7 for the game. So if they can replicate that kind of performance today, as we said, it's their last game of the year, so there's no doubt that Coach Dan Willing would have set themselves for this one. So if they can put in a good performance, we might be in for a cracker of a game.
Just looking at that ground, full credit to the City Council and the club. It's looking a picture today after plenty of rain in recent times as Hamish Leadham gets us underway at Windsor Park. Jaden Hines, an inclusion for this week with the first disposal of the afternoon. He kicks it out wide. Jay Blackberry, who expect to be in the thick of it this afternoon, he drives the ball inside 50 for Lauderdale. See a little bit of mud there from some rain this morning. That ball bounces and hits the post out of bounds for a throw in. So you can see there some mud inside 50, but considering how much rain has been around Launceston in the last couple of weeks, full credit to the groundsmen and women for getting the ground up to this sort of scratch as the ball's thrown into play. Well, falls well short of Hayden Smith, and I think umpire Bevis will take that one again.
Looks a lot better than it did a couple of weeks ago in Snorky. So, as you said, obviously good from the groundsmen and the council to get that up to scratch today, and hopefully, as we know, Lonnie are going to host the final next weekend, so it can look in a bit better state next week too, as this footy's come back inside play now. We're going to have the ball up. So we do know that final's locked in at Windsor Park next week against North Launceston, just depending on what day that is, considering there could be there's a fair bit of talk about an AFL final in Hobart, Tassie next weekend. So could be finals galore in Hobart across the TSL and the AFL come next weekend. So we've got our first score of the day to behind to the Blues. So we'll get a kick in now for the Bombers. And with the footy, run out now. Kicks us into the centre of the ground. Found Heavey there. So Stalwart, as this Bombers outfit, takes a nice mark. Gives a handball off to Christensen. He kicks wide now to the concrete side of the ground. He's found Harry Richmond. We can see a fair bit of water underfoot there. So might be a bit of a scrub of the day here at Windsor Park. Good punch there by the Blues defender. Heavey leads to this footy. Gives to Christensen. Tries to get off to Siggins. Sutton's on the bottom of that pack. Footy comes out now. Kick away by number 4 for the Blues in Alec Wright. It's going straight down the throat of the Bombers defender, Will Poland. So he kicks wide now, looking for Billy Rolfe. Can't get to him. Jay Blackberry's there. A teammate to mop up now. Powerfulman's got the footy now. He kicks down the line. That one's going to go out of bounds for a boundary throw in though. So one behind scored so far here at Windsor Park. As we said, lost the game of the season for the Bombers. Blues with bigger fish to fry come next weekend. But there's no doubt they will not be looking past Lauderdale today. We know what a star-studded outfit this team is. Haven't had the year they would have expected, but there's enough talent in the side to really challenge the Blues today. The whistle's being blown now. It might be a free kick to Bombers skipper in Josh McGuinness. It is. He said kick 7 last time these sides played in round 14. He went forward. Looks like he might start in defence today. So he kicks up the line to Harry Richmond. Not as good as year as he had last year, Harry Richmond, but he's still been the key focal point up forward for the Bombers in 2021, in his second full year of TSL footy. So that ball's punched out of bounds there by James Dowling, one of the inclusions today. So 3 minutes gone now in the first quarter. Launceston just a solitary behind. Lauderdale yet to score. Footy comes in now. Hamish Leadham wins that one down. Ground ball. Who's going to get the beneficiary of this one? Comes out now to Jack Tuthill. He kicks forward. Knocked up well there by number 17 in Brendan Taylor. Numbers here with the Bombers, but the Blues are pressing hard. Comes out now to Oscar Shaw. He's tackled though immediately. What's the umpire going to say here? Holding the ball. So, good start here by the Blues, Oz.
Certainly is, Ryan. Yeah, just really penning the Bombers into their defensive 50 at the moment, and that's a nice reward there for Zach Morris, who starred a few weeks ago with 9 goals. He's played a lot of his time in the Devils program as a defender, but clearly has a way in front of the big sticks as well, as he is going to look to kick the first major of the afternoon. So
Zach Morris, can he put through his first and the first for the day for the Blues? That looks pretty good off the boot from Zach Morris. That's the first for the day. It's to the home side in Launceston.
Certainly is, and I think Mitch Thorpe would be delighted to see one of his forwards being rewarded with holding the ball tackle and then kicking the goal from the pocket. Never an easy kick from that part of the ground, and he made no mistake. So great start for the Launceston Blues.
Definitely is. Other TSL action today we've got on the live stream also Clarence playing visitor to North Hobart at North Hobart Oval. The D's in some pretty good form after that win last week. You saw that one live, Aussie. They were pretty good, and
yeah,
we've got Glenorchy, the side that North Hobart beat. We've travelled down the highway to face North Launceston at UTAS Stadium, so we'll keep you updated with those scores throughout the day. Ball goes up now. Siggins tries to win that one down. He gets his own footy there. Sam Siggins, he's had a stellar year as last year's Alistair Lynch medalist. Definitely in team of the year calculations, that man. Footy comes out to the wing now. Blues have the numbers here. It's going to be picked up there by number 19 and Jaden Hines. Comes out to, I think that's Jack Donovan with the mud on the back. No whistle blown there by the umpire. Poland leads to this footy. What's he going to do here? Smart play. Follows that one through for a behind. So Blues lead this one now. 1-2-8 to Lauderdale, yet to score 5. 6 minutes almost gone.
Will Poland brings the ball out of defence for the Lauderdale Bombers. Leadham had to sit, unable to complete the mark. Coming in, it's the Lauderdale player there in Ralph, but it will be another ball up. So you can see they're muddy conditions, but I don't think Lauderdale will be too afraid of playing in the mud. We've seen the tip be a fortress for many years. There we go. Hayden Smith, tap over the top. Denellen was there, so too Joby Harper. No player really able to cleanly pick this ball up at the moment as Casey Brown and Reece Sutton go to battle. Coming in there for Lauderdale, Sam Tilley. Alec Wright.
Free kick, I think.
It's going to be a free kick in the end. So Alec Wright will be taking it just in front of us here, broadcast position. He's just backward of centre wing, Alec Wright. Star of this Launceston side in recent times. You have the target there in Groningen, unable to take the mark, but this is going to be a dangerous spot here for Lauderdale defence, but they'll be content to see that roll out of bounds for a throw-in. So Lauderdale really struggling to get the ball beyond the halfway line at the moment, Ryan.
Yeah, I don't think they've actually had it, Aussie, past that halfway centre line, so it'll be the area of concern early in this game for coach Dan Willing. I'm sure once they can get their engine room moving, you know how dangerous that engine room is, be able to get a score on the board. Come time, footy goes out now. Groningen taps that forward. Shaw's there. Good play there by Oscar Shaw. He's had a pretty good year in defence, Oscar Shaw. He's copped a fair bit of attention down there with a fair bit of footy each week. So Oscar Shaw, pretty good season for the Bombers. Will Poland's going to bring this footy out now. He struts on out. It's a bit of attention there from Launceston player, but he's come out there. He's looking for Harry Richmond. Good punch away by Joe Groningen, vice captain.
It's a fascinating way that Launceston have structured their ruck stocks this year. As you mentioned, Hamish Leadham, a guy who'd be a walk-up start in most TSL sides, and they've had obviously Groningen and Cody Thorpe sharing a lot of the duties throughout the year. And when Mitch Thorpe's played, obviously inside 50, but it's just a fascinating real weapon that they have, a couple of key assets, not too dissimilar to the way Lauderdale play with Hayden Smith and Sam Siggins as well. Yeah,
definitely. They've not a lot of sides have that 3 or 4 pronged tall attack that they can really use to an advantage. So interesting to see if Hamish Leadham can have a star-making performance today in terms of his season in 2021. You already know he's a star. If he can have a good performance today, he might cause headaches, as we said, before the bounce for Coach Mitch Thorpe in terms of trying to bring Cody Thorpe back into this lineup next week. As Christensen kicks that one out now. It's come straight down the throat of Alec Wright. He centres this ball, cut off there, was looking for Blackberry. But a teammate there in James Dowling, he gives backwards. And a short shit there to Powerfree, play on, says the umpire. The tackle applied there by Steinbauer. The kick's been put down the throat. I think that is Jack Donnellan.
Just a kick out of thin air there from Jake Smith. He decided that there were too many hands trying to get there, too many hands trying to touch the football, and he thinks, let's make things nice and simple. I'll just swing my boot on it, and he's found Jack Donnellan lace out.
So Jack Donnellan, the man with the footy, man with the most mud on his back so far in this game too. It's hard to see that number 31, but he's got the footy now, looking for his first of the day and the Blues second. It looks good. The umpire was made to work for it, but it's through the big sticks. So the Blues get their second. They extend that lead to 2-3-15 with the Bombers yet to score. And they're almost at the 10-minute mark of the first quarter.
Yeah, it's been all Launceston so far. Launceston certainly asking the questions of Lauderdale defence, who have held up fairly well, but the Blues, just through sheer weight of inside 50 numbers, actually, I should say, in terms of the inside 50 numbers, they've had quite a few, but a lot of the time it's just been locked in the inside 50. So they've just got some reward for effort there, have the Blues. And as you just said, Ryan, 2-3-15 to Lauderdale yet to score. Let's see how the Bombers respond. You can just see in the middle there, Franklin, Christensen and Siggins at the feet of Smith. Certainly plenty of talent there as umpire throws the ball up. Leadham wins it down. Umpire's whistle for holding. It's going to go the way of the Bombers. Thought it might have gone the way of Christensen, but they've passed it off as McGuinness off half back, drives towards half forward, probably the furthest afield they've been so far, the Bombers. Decides to play on, throws his teammate Francis under the pump, but the ball rolls out of bounds. Francis, a late inclusion this afternoon for Lauderdale. This is certainly the first time we've seen the Bombers up this neck of the woods of Windsor Park.
Definitely see that forward 50 end on the side of Windsor Park, Aussie. A bit of rain and mud down that end.
Ball thrown back into play. Leadham and Smith. Leadham might have just got his hands to it. Siggins, first to the football, just dribbles the ball along the ground. Plenty of bodies around this football. Emerging with it was Ratcliffe for the Bombers. Handball just evades Hayden Smith. Ed Stanley was there in support. Josh Williams as well. Now coming in, Steinbauer. Umpire's whistle. It's going to be a free kick going the way of Lauderdale. Hayden Smith just keen to let Jack Danella know about it as well.
On the physical stuff, the big man Hayden Smith. Good to see him back out there. He's had an injury the past 2 seasons, so good to see him back out there as Siggins tries to kick that one away. He's on the bottom of his pack now. So's a teammate in Richmond. But he's come out to Alex Seavey now. He's going to kick this one inside 50, their first of the day. It's gone straight down the throat of Grant Holt. So he looks to get this one clear. So a teammate wide is Casey Brown. He kicks down the wing. Bench side of Windsor Park. This ball's going to trickle forward. Joby Harper might be the first man in the footy. The whistle's been blown though. So footy's going to come back to number 25 in Sam Foley, one of the ins today. He kicks forward. So the Blues are inside 50 now. Bit of a scrubby ball. Poland's going to mop this one up. Tough kick there. He looked for a teammate. It was a 2-on-1. So footy's come out now to Jake Smith, I should say. He kicks short over the top to Brendan Taylor. And looks like he might have a shot on goal from a difficult angle. I think he's going to back himself in here, is the small man.
You can even see there just the way Launceston were moving the football from one end to the other. It was the first time they've really had to repel out of defence, but it all started from that Grant Holt mark. And look at this, another inside 50 and a shot at goal. So
Brendan Taylor, can he put through his first? Kick the Blues third. It's no mistake. Straight over the goal umpire's head, like the last two. So, danger signs early now for the Bombers. The Blues are out to a 3-goal lead. 3-3-21 plays. The Bombers yet to score. And we're 13 minutes gone here in the first quarter at Windsor Park.
Yeah, all Launceston at the moment. And Brendan Taylor, a player who I feel like he's almost at the level of someone like a Shane Edwards from a couple of years ago in the AFL, almost so underrated that it becomes rated. He's been a real workhorse for Launceston for a long period of time as Brendan Taylor, and it's nice for him to hit the scoreboard early in this game as well. You can just see there Jaden Hines. I love that from Mitch Thorpe, chucking a youngster in the guts, and he's a very talented player, is Jaden Hines.
Glad to mention that. I wasn't sure if he had a tagging role on Sam Siggins. Hopping a fair bit of attention though, that was for sure. Straight
into the action here is Hines. He just got one high from his teammate there and Leadham. Umpire's whistle.
Bit overzealous there from the big man.
Yeah, Nathan Geeson, the best in the business.
Good boy, Joyce!
Hines as Christensen and Blackpool are told to get out of the way. You can just hear some passionate pleas there from the coaching staff as Launceston drive the ball inside 50. Groenewegen and Holt were there. A lot of pressure now on the Lauderdale defence as a hurried kick goes out wide in the direction of Harry Richmond. He has Jamison House for company. Jake Smith's there as well. Potentially held without it was Nick Raglione, and the umpire agrees. So Raglione will take the ball at half back for Lauderdale. He'll just assess his options. He looks to take on the middle of the ground. A dangerous kick, but the runners are there as Christensen emerges with the football and drives it inside 50. A one-on-one now as Ed Stanley competes up against Bowen Pearce. Stanley goes to ground and potentially cops one high. He did that well, Ed Stanley. It's hardly his first rodeo, and he's now got an opportunity to kick the Bombers first of the afternoon.
Spot on, he did everything right there. Ed Stanley played in front, attacked the footy, and he knew that if he got on the ground and tried to pick that footy up, there was a high chance that his defender would come over the top of him and he'd get a free kick. So most players would probably go for a kick off the ground there, but Ed Stanley's a smart footballer. He did everything right on that occasion, and that's why he's got a shot on goal.
So Ed Stanley, the first real look at it that the Bombers have had this afternoon. How really fair. He's been a long-standing player for Lauderdale. Had a stint with Dodgers Ferry in the SFL, but it's great to see him back in the red and black as that one's on the way, but always missing to the left-hand side. The umpire had to do a little bit too much work in the end. So a minor score. Lauderdale are on the board. They're trailing 21-1 after 15 minutes.
So footy's come back out now. Owen Pearce is the man that's kicked this up the wing. So what can the Blues do now? Lauderdale get their first score of the day. Can they respond? Short kick there to Hines. The mismatch there with the tall man in Siggins. Not a great kick, but Powperman's worked it well. Gives a handball over the top. Got a teammate on here. He runs forward. Kick inside 50 now. Can't be taken. The two big men compete now, Smith and Leadham. Good tackle there by Leadham. Sam Foley was also there for company for the Blues. So good to see the big man making a mark early in this game. He's playing for a spot in a final next week. You'd have to think Hamish Leadham. He's come out now. Powerfulman's got it. What can he do with it? Smith punches that footy forward. Leadham with a handball, but it's gone straight down the throat of Nat Franklin. He gives over to Tilly. He gives it back to Franklin, but the boundary line beats him. And we're going to have that boundary throw in. So 16 and a half minutes almost gone here in the first quarter.
It's very much a new look Launceston team. We've already touched on it a few times this afternoon without guys like Fletcher Seymour, Jake Hines running through the guts. It's a great opportunity for some of these unheralded Launceston players as the ball's thrown back into play. Leadham, one of those guys, wins it down to Jake Smith, who's immediately wrapped up in the Raglione tackle. Siggins gets the ball, kicks the ball, and goes out of bounds. So Sam Siggins just starting to get his hands on the football. He's, I guess, the nature of the game at the moment. Every time he's gone near it, he's been hurried. On that occasion, out of bounds on the full, but we know just how much of a superstar he is in this competition. There's Isaac Wyatt, who's kicking from the boundary about 50 metres out, decides he's going to go long, decides to move it quickly, gets a fair bit of purchase on it. Leadham read it best as it fell short. Jake Smith, though, capitalises on the Eric McGuinness handball, and Launceston kick goal number 4. And Jake Smith on the board this afternoon. McGuinness tried to get rid of it quickly. In the end, straight down the throat of Smith, but I just loved the Hyatt kick that went deep and quickly, and Hamish Leadham read it best, and in the end that's created the opportunity.
Yeah, it was good work by both men, especially Hamish Leadham there to create the contest. And as we said, if the big man doesn't take the mark, you want him to create a contest and bring that ball to ground. And Josh McGuinness, the skipper, you could see that he wasn't happy with his work there. He tried to do everything right and get a quick handball out to produce some attacking play in the defensive 50, but well cut off there by Jake Smith, and that produced the Blues, I should say, 4th goal of the day. They lead this one by 26 points at the 18-minute mark. So we get another ball up now. Smith wins that one down over Gronewegan. Good tackle there by the big man. Might have been a dangerous one there. No, says the umpire. So good aggression there by big Hayden Smith. You know, that's a big part of his game. Loves the physical side of footy. Does that man. McGuinness comes out now. Good handball over to Sutton. Kick forward now. Tilly's there for the Blues. He's got 3 to beat now. Good work there by Sam Tilly. He kicks that footy forward inside 50. Who's there now for the Blues? Good tackle by Ed Stanley. What's the umpire going to say here? It's my ball. Ed Stanley, lively when that footy's inside 50. He's played the majority of his footy at the Bombers in the 4th half, but he has played a fair bit of footy this year in defensive 50 in a new role from Coach Dan Willing. So good to see that he can be thrown either end of the ground and still produce some good footy. Ed Stanley. Powerfulman kicks his footy off the deck. The boundary line might beat everyone here. It does. So 19 minutes gone now. Said Lonnie, all 4 goals of this game so far. You see there, Hines and Siggins. Siggins just says, calm down, mate. Got a full game to go here, none of that. You know what a star he is. He gets some good company there. Some good support, I should say. Siggins from a teammate. Hines gets another tackle on him. So I think the Bombers have now picked up on this. Might not be a hard tag, but whenever there's a ball up, I feel like there might just be a bit of body pressure from Hines on Siggins. You see Nat Franklin there trying to get in between. So good work there from a teammate. As Richmond goes up against Gronewegan in the mismatch. Good tackle there by Siggins. Will Poland takes that one. So he's had a fair bit of footy so far in this game, Will Poland, from the Tiger. 2nd season at the Bombers. He's missed a little bit of footy this year through injury, but it's good to see him back out there the back half of this season. As that ball's punched over the line there by James Dowling.
I reckon Sam Siggins would be very happy to have Nat Franklin back in the outfit this afternoon. He's only played 9 games, but the guy averages 24 touches and, you know, really just gets his hand on the football right across the park. Yep. It's going to provide a lot of support as Gronewegan double fist down. A really crunching tackle there. The umpire's going to deem that as being high and dangerous. So a free kick going the way of Richmond, who's quick to play on. Sorry, Ryan, as he drives the ball inside 50. Falls a bit shorter than anyone anticipated. You can just see wet conditions inside 50 there for the Bombers. A hacked kick. First to the football is going to be Kingston for Lauderdale, but Jake Smith with great composure kept his feet and got the handball off to Sam Foley. And now they're going to be off to the races at half forward. Zach Morris first to the footy, just lost his footing at the crucial time. A loopy handball into space. Raglione first to it. His kick is going to flirt with the boundary line, and in the end, out of bounds on the full. Jake Smith just trying his best to get his hands to the football. An impressive slide in the end. He's going to bring the ball back into play.
So Hines now. So Jake Smith, I should say. He kicks forward, but it's straight down the throat of Reece Sutton. So marks in front of Jay Blackberry. Looking for a pretty good performance today. Jay Blackberry in the absence of some top quality midfielders in Seymour and Hines. Ball's come out now. What can the Bombers do here? Got 2 to beat here. Can't do it. Josh Woolley is the man that got that footy off the deck. McGuinness is there for the Bombers. Play on, says the umpire, not 15. It's just a scrubby old kick around the corner from Josh McGuinness. It's gone straight back to Josh Woolley. He kicks inside now. Good mark taken there by Tusshill. Jay Blackberry's there, so they can get the ball to him. They do now. He gets a quick kick off. Not his best work there. Usually a pretty classy kick as that one's come around the corner from Brennan Taylor. But it's gone through 4 behind. So that evens the Blues scoreline up at 4-4-28. Lauderdale solitary behind. So a fair bit of the footy in their forward half in the last 5 or 6 minutes. The Bombers, but they haven't been able to put a goal on the board yet. As Poland streams out of the back line. Almost a mark taken there. Good play there by Sam Siggins. He gets that footy out, tries to give to a teammate. He can't take possession though. The tackle's going to be applied here on Jay Blackberry. So Lauderdale still looking for their first major. They didn't kick a goal until I think midway through the second quarter the last time they played the Blues. So they won't want a repeat of that, as we heard the call there from Oz. Brilliant tap work there by Groenewegen. Good play there by the Bombers' defence. They get the numbers around this footy. Raglione's there. He pushes that one towards the behind. So that's 4-5-29 now, Launceston. This footy's come back out of the defensive 50.
Poland drives the ball out, looking in the Christensen direction. Unable to complete the transaction though, as Taylor gets it back to Blackberry. Blackberry's kick just impacted a little bit as he tried to get rid of the football there, as James Dowling brings it inside 50, but an umpire's whistle, and it's going to go the way of the Launceston Blues. Jake Smith, who's already got 1 goal for the afternoon, just missed out on a second moments ago. Now have a look at goal once again. I like Jake Smith playing a bit deeper inside 50. He's such a damaging player. He spent a lot of time across half-back, plenty of time on the wing this year. Now playing his trade inside 50. He's going to look to extend Launceston's lead. So we approach 24 minutes gone in this opening term. Jake Smith on the way. Only a slight angle to deal with, but the umpire dealt with plenty of work, and it's hitting the post for a minor score.
4-6-30 now. Plenty of the footy in their forward half, the Blues. An accurate kicking costing them a bigger lead in this game so far. Good mark taken there by Harry Richmond. He's been pretty lively early in this game. One of the Bombers' best. The ball's just gone straight back to the Blues though. Jay Blackberry's got the footy now. He plays on immediately. He's going to switch this across the ground. He's got options aplenty. Leadham's the man with it now. Smith was coming off the bench. So Leadham kicks that one inside 50. It's a high ball. Mark almost taken there by Sutton. As Joby Harper's got the footy now. He's set upon by 2 men.
Just quickly there, I reckon that bodywork from Sam Foley, he hit Reece Sutton incredibly hard, and that is a guy who's in the team today, and he wants to be there next week when the finals get underway as well.
Spot on, Oz. Brilliant pick up by you there. So there's no doubt that Coach Mitch Thorpe would have seen that from the coach's box. Another one.
I also reckon that kick just moments ago from Jay Blackberry on a day where people are struggling to hit targets, Blackberry has gone inboard, outside of the boot, and hit him lace out.
Spot on, and he's gone probably backwards too as he's gone inboard, probably 10 or 15 metres. So a lot of guys would have just elected to go straight up the line to a contest. But we know the smarts of Jay Blackberry. We know he's the game's record holder now in the TSL. After taking that record from Jay Bowden a few weeks ago. So we know what a smart footballer he is. His Leadham was going to go up there. I thought he was, but Harper's the man that collects the footy. So the skipper, good to see him out there. Obviously missed a fair chunk of footy early in the year due to his firefighting training. He's back out there today. Good play there by the Bombers as this footy's come up to the commentary side wing now. Mark not taken there. Comes out to Richmond. He gives to Christensen, who's had a good start to this game, we should say. Looks to Sutton, but he can't get the footy. Blues have the numbers now. They've got the numbers wide in the centre of the ground. 2-on-1 here, we think. Well played there by number 55. Not too sure who that was. I'll get that name for you in a second. Not on my team sheet.
They're playing tricks on us, I think.
They are.
It's Mitch Thorpe and co. That one through for a minor score. So
we'll thank Thorpe for that one later.
Will Poland's going to bring it back into play for Lauderdale. He's had a fair bit of the football as he just dances around Jack Donnellan.
Racking up the premier data points for Poland.
Looks in the Smith direction. Heavey's going to be there at ground level. He just overruns the footy as Leadham and Smith go to work against each other. Jay Blackberry at the bottom of the pack, potentially taken high by the umpire, who disagrees with the cries from the Launceston players. It's going to be a ball up. Smith, certainly a player who's happy to get his hands dirty at ground level as he wins that tap down, straight down the throat of Christensen, who just paddles it forward. In the end, running out of tarmac. It's Brody Palfreyman and co. Out of bounds for another throw in. So almost 27 minutes gone in this opening term, and Launceston, they do hold a strong advantage, but missed some opportunities, and this could really have already been a blowout. Have to see how Lauderdale respond as the afternoon unfolds. Back into play, lead him straight down to Blackberry. Blackberry wrapped up in the tackle.
Coach Mitch Thorpe in the background there. Interesting to see if he does come back for the finals, Aussie. He's a guy you probably want in the side, but we know what a smart operator he is, and he's said repeatedly during the year that if it's not right for the team, he won't put himself back in this lineup. So he's got a long and sturdy career ahead in the coach's box, there's no doubt about that.
Keep talking, boys.
As Harry Richmond applies a good tackle there.
You're right.
One of their best so far in this game has
Richmond.
Richmond.
Go and sit in the middle there. Go and sit in the middle.
I think Mitch Thorpe just wants to show off a couple of his tats there, just getting himself in play.
Getting in camera. It's good to hear him actually off the side as the siren blows for quarter time here at Windsor Park. So it is a Launceston lead 4-8-32 to Lauderdale, the solitary behind. So a 31-point lead here at the first break. Anthony Osborne.
Yeah, an intriguing opening term here at Windsor Park. I think, as we just discussed a moment ago, Launceston with all the football and a really strong advantage of 31 points, but really they should even be further ahead as we just take a quick look at the goal kickers. Singles to Brendan Taylor, Jake Smith, Zach Morris and Jack Donnellan. I think the first maybe 8 minutes, 10 minutes of the quarter, Lauderdale barely got the ball beyond the centre line. In the end, they were able to create some opportunities, and there'll be a little bit to work with heading in to the second term, but as we've discussed a few times, it has been all Launceston with guys like, I think as the quarter went on, Jay Blackberry kind of worked his way into it, but I thought Jake Smith was probably the standout performer in the opening term. He was really lively inside 50, also chipping in across half-back a couple of times as well. That ruck battle between Hamish Leadham and Hayden Smith is going to be fascinating throughout the afternoon as well, but full credit to this Launceston side. They've made a swag of changes heading into this afternoon, and they haven't looked to have skipped a beat, and I think that's exactly what Mitch Thorpe would have been after.
No, spot on, and we should too mention, obviously, they're only their second loss for the year last week against Clarence down at Bellerive at Blundstone Arena, I should say, so there's no doubt that they would have wanted a response early in this game heading into the final next week, so that's definitely what they've got today, and as we said, they hold a 31-point lead here at the first break, so we might take a short break here at quarter time. As we'll get some score updates from around the grounds when we come back to you. But currently in this game at quarter time, it's a 31-point lead to the home side. We'll be back with you shortly.
Welcome back to Windsor Park. Quarter time in this final round match between the Launceston Blues and the Lauderdale Bombers. The home side leading 4-8-32 to Lauderdale, one behind. That one behind going the way of Ed Stanley. For Launceston, goal kickers Zach Morris, Jack Donnellan, Brendan Taylor and Jake Smith. It was a quarter dominated by the Launceston Blues, Ryan Rosendale. What do you think Lauderdale will respond with in this second term? Or, I guess, perhaps more importantly at the moment, what do you think Dan Willing wants to see from them heading into quarter two?
I think their intent was there in the first quarter, Ozzy. I think you saw when they got that ball forward, they had the players and guys like Richmond and Stanley were able to attack and get that ball moving forward. It was more just the work front of centre, I think, when we know what an engine room they've got with guys like Stiggins and Christensen and, as obviously we said, Nat Franklin back in the day, Reed Sutton, Hayden Smith, guys like this. So they can get that engine room moving and to compete well with the Blues engine room themselves. I think they've got the capabilities there to get that footy inside 50 quickly, and that's going to be the thing that will get them on the scoreboard early in this second quarter. So I think the message from Coach Dan Willing would have been our intent's good. We just need to get that ball cleanly inside 50, because when we do, we should be able to hit the scoreboard with the talent that we've got down there.
Certainly right. I think the Lauderdale defence have held up really well. Will Poland, Oscar Shaw, Nicola Raglione, who I thought his back after that quarter was sublime. They've really held up well against this Launceston forward 50, and I suppose on a day like this where the ground, considering the sun's now baking it, it's lovely, but there was quite a bit of rain this morning and overnight in Launceston, as there has been for seemingly the last 2 months. I think it's going to be a tough day. I think those small forwards are going to create a bit of havoc at ground level, and I feel like guys like Jake Smith, if he's going to spend more time forward of centre alongside the Grant Holtz of the world, could be really dangerous. But so far, full credit to the Lauderdale defence for holding up the way they have. No,
you're right, Ozzy. They have held up pretty well here under what's been a bucket load of ball inside 50. So we don't have the inside 50 stats, but I'm sure there would have been in double digits there for the Blues. So if their defence can hold up and they can get their attacking side of the game on point in this second quarter, Lauderdale will give themselves every shot to hit the scoreboard and create a bit of damage in this second quarter. As this footy's come back into play now. As this falls into the arms of Harry Richmond on the deck. So, spoke about him in the first quarter. He's had a pretty good start to this game. He's probably their tall timber down inside 50. A lone attacker. So, if he can hit the scoreboard, we know he's got a good set of hands on him, Harry Richmond. Definitely look to hit the scoreboard here in the second quarter, as this footy's just gone inside 50. Billy Rolfe brings it back out on the deck. What can they do here, Lauderdale? They've got the goal kicking end, you'd have to think, in this quarter, as the footy comes out now to the Bombers. Ed Stanley, good tackle applied there. It's come back out to Rolfe. He's set upon though immediately. Alec Wright's got the footy now. He kicks forward. 2-on-1 here. The big man Smith creates a bit of pressure there on Donnellan, and lets him know about it too. So he's getting a fair bit of attention from his opposing players. So, as we said, 31-point lead here at Windsor Park. I'll give you some around the ground updates in a quick few moments. We've got a few clashes, another clash in the north of the state today. North Launceston hosting Glenorchy. And the one lone clash in the south is Clarence and North Hobart doing battle at North Hobart Oval. So we might get some score updates now from you, Ozzy, on those games.
Absolutely, Ryan. I've just grabbed your phone, but here we've got North Hobart and Clarence at 2-1-13 apiece. Second quarter just getting underway, and the early game, North Lonnie against Glenorchy at UTAS Stadium. It's all North Launceston. They're leading 11-7-73 to the Magpies, 3-3-21, 5 minutes into the third term.
Tough day at the office already for the Magpies in what is probably gone unheralded this week. It's obviously Paul Kennedy's last game as senior coach. We know what a star he is. He's a very smooth operator. He's PK. We like him here in the commentary box. So best wishes to PK in his last game as senior coach. Obviously sticking around next year in that head of coaching role at the Pies. But they're on the hunt, Oz, for a senior playing coach next year. So we wish PK all the best in his last game in the head chair. This footy's come inside 50 now. The mark's been taken in defence by number 21 in Isaac Hyatt. He kicks a short kick to his skipper in Joby Harper. He's going to bring this to the commentary side wing. Almost cut off there. Well played there by the Bombers. It's mopped up there. Comes out to Bailey Gillow. He gives a handball off to a teammate. He's going to kick this one inside 50. Good mark taken there. You like that one, Aussie?
It's Joe Blackberry again, just a tough day for kicking. Finds his teammate there and Zach Marshall out.
Patient! Get the ground set up!
Mitch Thorpe there, not a great kick, but it's worked out well. Brendan Taylor's the man with the footy, but that's going to go over the boundary line. Here's some expletives there from Thorpe. Not happy with that work there from Brendan Taylor. You know what a passionate man he is, Mitch Thorpe, even though they're sitting pretty on top of the ladder and have a home final all but guaranteed, I should say, well, guaranteed next week. He would be wanting a pretty good performance from his side here in their last roster game of the year, heading into that final next week. As the Blues have it inside 50 now, Harper. Good tackle applied there by number 7 for the Bombers in Will Francis. One of the late-ins today. So deep inside attacking 50 now. Taylor's got it. Smith gives it off to Blackberry. What can Jay Blackberry do with the footy? He's put that through the big sticks. That is terrific play there from Jay Blackberry. Your man Aussie, his kicking has been elite today. And that was exactly the same there.
Yeah, he's just the sort of player that I think, I mean, his record speaks for itself. He's been so good for so long. And that occasion there made absolutely no mistake. And, yeah, great start to the quarter for Launceston. We saw Lauderdale head inside 50 early in this term, but we've played 4 minutes, and it's the Blues who draw first blood.
Interesting, too, for Jake Blackberry today. We know he's not a guy for personal accolades, but he is currently sitting equal first in the Cripps Player of the Year award with a teammate, I should say, that's actually not playing today, Jake Hines. So if he can have a good performance today, he might be able to get the chocolates. But we do know that the North Launceston skipper in Jay Foon is sitting a few votes behind them. So it'll be interesting little battle between a few of the Northern boys in the Player of the Year award come later, I should say Monday morning, to see who takes that one out. The footy's come back out now. Blues are going to try to get this one forward as that man Blackberry's tackled immediately there. So we like a tight finish, Aussie, and it's been good to see that a few of the Northern boys have been right on that leaderboard at the top of the year all year, and it's come down to the final round.
Certainly is, yeah, and I'd be intrigued to see how those sort of players fare when it comes to the Lynch medal as well. That's right. A virtual event this year, happening the week before the grand final, so always intriguing to see just how the umpires and the media view the game differently as this ball's thrown up. Smith just taps it straight up in the air looking for Franklin. Blackberry at the bottom of the pack. Siggins just manufactures a handball out wide. He was looking for Sutton, but Christensen gets the shark as he kicks the ball down the line, but only as far as Casey Brown. Actually, I shouldn't say Casey Brown. I should say Wright, who chips the ball into Joby Harper. Great to see him, as you said, Ryan, back out business time of the season. It's been a big year for him as he kicks the ball inboard. Ed Stanley applies a bit of pressure. Really good strength there by Dowling, who got it out wide to Bailey Gillow. Gillow, a low ball just to the paint of 50. Competing there, Blackberry once again wraps up Tyler Martin in a tackle. Plenty of bodies are going to converge around this, but Bailey Gillow with a little bit of dash gets the ball out wide to Gronewegan, who sets his sights for home. Just gets over the top, but it's touched through for a minor score. So the Blues, they move to 5-9-39. Lauderdale just one behind as Will Poland once again brings the ball out from defence. It's going to be a big ball to win, and the free kick's going to go the way of the Lauderdale Bombers. So taking it is Billy Rolfe, but no, Harry Richmond is actually the player to take the ball. Rolfe just thought he'd get a cheap disposal. Richmond's been one of the better players so far this afternoon for the Bombers as he hoists the ball down the line looking for a target. Siggins has Hines for company as he has had so often this afternoon. Tuttle, handballs over to Leadham. Leadham to Wright. Uses the inside of the boot to get it in the Gronewegan direction. Unable to quite complete the mark. Denellen at ground level. That jumper's just getting muddier and muddier as the umpire's whistle goes, and it's going to be a free kick going the way of Alan Christensen.
So the former Cat and Lion at AFL level gives that one to Billy Rolfe. He's going to get it back now, Christensen. Gives it back to Rolfe. Good pressure applied there by the Blues. This one's right in front of us here in the commentary position at Windsor Park. Good tackle applied there by Harry Richmond. So almost 7.5 minutes gone here in the second quarter. Cheeky, you to put a goal on the board. Leadham wins that down. That's a great tap there by Hamish Leadham. The Blues get this one out to Power Freeman. He kicks deep forward. Jake Smith's there. He's got 2 to beat. Well played there by Smith. Got the offensive punch there, I should say. As the ball comes out now. Smith's there again. What can he do? Playing some pretty good footy today. Jake Smith inside 50, but that one's beaten everyone over the boundary line. So 39-1 here at Windsor Park. So Lauderdale yet to put a goal on the board. Similar scenes to when they played last time down at Skybus Oval. From memory, the Bombers took a fair while in that second quarter to put a score on the board, and then they came out of the last and kicked 7, 6 off the boot of Josh McGuinness. So you know they can kick goals against good sides. Just got to get their first one to get the steam train rolling. Footy's come out to Groenewegen now. Good tackle applied there by Christensen. See all that mud there in the centre of this 450 as Smith gets that one out to Christensen again. So a fair bit of footy here in the second quarter. But he's kicked that straight down the throw into 2 Blues. They fight over that one, and Tyler Martin might be the man to get the footy. Good work there by Tilly. He gives over to Stanley. He's taken without it. Umpire's going to pick that one out. So Grant Holt a bit overzealous there. He elects not to give that footy back. So gets his own footy now. Does Ed Stanley. We've seen him back as he said earlier, back at TSL level after a year with Dodgers Ferry last year. Kicked 5 in a prelim a couple of years ago up at Utah Stadium from memory. So he's a fairly good football operator, is Ed Stanley. Knows where the big sticks are. Score update from North Hobart Oval. It's North Hobart, the home side, that have ran away with this one to a 2-goal lead. 4-1-25, playing still on 2-1-13. We'll get a score update from Windsor Park here in just a few seconds. Siggins applies that tackle. Score update at Utah Stadium, I should say. He's 73, plays 27, 11-7 to 4-3. So it's all North Launceston over the road.
Taylor brings the ball in to Alec Wright. Wright finds a target half forward in Dowling. Stops and props, had a couple of runners. Still looking around is Dowling. In the end, opts for the safe option, going to Alec Wright. Wright decides to take off, and he's going to launch this ball inside 50. Groenewegen's at the sit. He doesn't quite take the mark. Handball over the top, finds Holt. Holt's handball running back in there was a Launceston player. A strong tackle laid by Alex Heavey. Unrewarded as Groenewegen somehow emerges with the football. Taps it out wide to Bailey Gillow, who gives it off to Jake Smith, who has a flying shot at goal. Running across, unable to take the mark there, was Sam Foley. Now with some serious questions, Hayden Smith, but the umpire is going to come in and give the Bombers a reprieve.
You mentioned it earlier, sorry I was to cut in, but the amount of ball that this Lauderdale defence had to deal with, I think that they've had a pretty good job so far. They've had a fair bit of ball here in the second as they did in the first, so not too many goals on the board so far in this quarter for the Blues, so it's a good sign for the Bombers.
Christensen and McGuinness, they drive the ball out of defence, but it's going to come back with interest as Jay Blackberry kicks it to a dangerous spot. Merging with the football, a Launceston though, plenty of bodies around this ball. Palfreyman's taken in the tackle, and it's going to be a free kick. A little overzealous once again, Lauderdale, looking to make a statement, and the free kick is going to go the way of Brodie Palfreyman. It's a wet footy, but he's kicking it directly in front, and you'd think he's every chance to kick the Blues 6th of the afternoon.
Yeah, overzealous was the word I was thinking in my head when I saw that tackle too, Aussie. Just thought he had the footy there. He hadn't collected it cleanly, yet had Brodie Palfreyman. So he gets the free kick, and he's been a stalwart of this Lonnie outfit for a number of years now. So we know he knows where the goals are. He put through the Bombers 6 of the game here. So
Brodie Palfreyman, golden opportunity to hit the scoreboard, as you said, Ryan. A star for a number of seasons now. The ball's on the way. The umpire has to do a bit of work. Too much in the end through for a minor score. So Launceston 5-10-40. Have to say, of those 10 behinds, there have been at least 3 golden opportunities to hit the scoreboard. So Lauderdale down by 39 points, but it could be even more as Poland's kick into the middle of the ground finds Alan Christensen, who flew beautifully. Took the mark, landing on his back as he kicks the ball towards half forward. It's going to be a foot race. He sets a bit of a task there for Harry Richmond. Coming in for reinforcements for Launceston, Jack Tuttle. Get the ball out wide in the direction of Alec Wright, who just has to think his way through the situation. Kicks it up the line. Oscar Shaw overruns it. Poland, handball over the top in the Shaw direction. Maybe Kingston gets involved. Dishes the handball to Nat Franklin, who kicks to half forward, but straight down the throat of a Launceston Blue.
As the Blues now ping this back in, but it's cut off there well by Will Francis. He gives off to his skipper in McGuinness immediately. There's a little chip kick over the top. He's got Stanley there. Can't get a clean ball. Good tackle applied though, as they bring it out now through Jack Tuthill. One-on-one here. Good work there by the Bombers player in Josh Williams, but Powperman's going to be the man with the footy now. He tries to give it to Taylor. No whistle blown there by the umpire. Francis wanted a free kick. Umpire said not today. So a ball up here just in front of the Launceston bench. So 39-point lead still in favour of the home side. Lauderdale yet to score a goal. Almost 13 and a half minutes gone. So if you're damn willing, all you want now is that first goal on the board just to give your side a little bit of momentum. You don't want to go into half-time yet to score a goal. So it makes it incredibly tough. Already 39 points down. So big game for Lonnie. They're going to host a final here next week against their crosstown rivals, North Launceston. It's going to be a tantalising match-up. Another final, is going to be Clarence and the Tigers in the south of the state. So two really mouth-watering clashes next week in the first week of the TSL finals for season 2021. Mr. Nellen looks to play the advantage, but McGuinness holds him up, and the umpire's going to bring this one back. So get a Launceston free kick here. Just in front of the Lauderdale bench. What can they do now, the Blues? They haven't been as dangerous in front of goal this quarter as they were in the first. They're going to look to change that now. Not going to do it this time though, because it's gone straight down the throat of the Lauderdale defender. So Peavy on here inside if he wants him short. Does Williams, he doesn't. Sorry, that's Francis. Kick up the line, mark not taken there. So Blues are going to repel back here, but there is the man there in Josh Williams. He takes a mark on the half-back flank. Looks to switch it, play on, says the umpire, you come off your line. Short kick isn't a great one. It's for Heavey. A lot of work to do now. Richmond's there for company. Good tackle applied. So just some poor skill execution costing the Bombers in this quarter, Aussie.
Certainly is, Ryan. Yeah, the conditions are making it difficult. Obviously a wet, slippery football. Plenty of rain across the north of the state for the last couple of weeks as Groningen gets a tap straight down to Francis. He has a runner there in McGuinness, who chips the ball inside. Going to go the way of Reece Sutton. Sutton drives the ball inside 50. Who's his option, though, in the end with the sit? A comfortable mark taken by Josh Woolley. Woolley looks for a runner. Has just that in James Dowling. Dowling. Dinky kick inboard. Finds Joby Harper. Harper looking to complete the switch as he goes out wide. With the sit there was Jamison House, who just shrugs his opponent. It's been impressive so far, Jamison House. He kicks it towards half forward. Launceston driving the ball inside 50 once again. Groningen was the target, but it got a couple of runners here as Jake Smith, the handball just missed him. He looks to bring the ball back into play. A short, crafty little kick in the direction of Zach Morris, who's then forced to play tackler. Now emerging with the football and out of bounds, rolling there for the Blues. So again, that quick transition, Jake Smith, it was all going really well until that final disposal just missed Smith, who would have been running into an open goal, but still really promising signs there for Launceston.
You can see the effect, the shape of the ground, and just the ball in this point of the game. It's been on the deck a fair bit, so they might have something to do with some poor skill execution from both sides when they look to go forward. You see there, front and centre on camera, a mud patch in the centre of that forward 50. So we hope that this ground will be in a bit better condition come the final next week. No doubt the council will get a tip-top shape as the Blues have a shot on goal here. And now with the footy's Brennan Taylor. So he's going to look for his second of the game. Can he kick the Blues 6? He put that through the big 6 he has. So they finally get one here in the second quarter, the Blues. That's their second after an early one. They lead this one by 45 points, 6-10-46. Plays the one solitary behind for the Bombers. We just tick over into the 17-minute mark here at Windsor Park.
So Brennan Taylor is now kicked 23 goals for the season, 21 heading to this afternoon's game. So that's a really impressive return for someone who, if you're looking at the goal-kicking table, he's in with the likes of the Ed Stanleys, the Colin Garlands of the world, who are known for their goal-kicking prowess. So that's really impressive from Brennan Taylor. And just looking at the leaderboard here for the goal-kicking for the season, you've got Dylan Riley, Jake Hines, Cody Thorpe, Braden Pitcher, all inside the top 10. None of them playing this afternoon. So this just shows the depth Launceston have and their ability to hit the scoreboard as we're back in the middle. Lauderdale emerging with the football, kicking towards half forward. Tyler Martin was the target. Alec Wright just kicks the ball on the ground to find Jaden Hines. A loopy handball over the top. Sets a bit of a task for his teammates, but they're going to be up to it. As Wright emerges with the football, kicks it to Groenewegen, who just lost his footing, but did well, the big man, to get back onto his feet. Brodie Palfreyman dribbles the ball towards half forward. Lauderdale the first to arrive though as Franklin gets the handball over the top to McGuinness. Franklin working inside a phone box, got it again as Kingston lays a strong tackle on Jack Donnellan, takes him out of bounds. Bodie Kingston, a player who has been on the fringes for a couple of years, and great to see him get his chance at senior footy this year, and one of those players that I think Dan Willing knows is going to get a lot of effort out of week in, week out. Ball's thrown back in. Stiggins competing this time against Groenewegen. Josh McGuinness, who's starting to get his hands on the football. He goes back to Franklin. Franklin forced to get his kick off nice and quickly. In the end, it's going to come back to Lauderdale as Sam Stiggins merges with the ball, kicks it around the corner. Lauderdale outnumbered here, though, as Alec Wright gets the handball over the top to Dowling, who's forced to do a little bit of work. He decides to opt with a little worm burner as Christensen gets the handball to Heavey. Now back in the hands of Billy Rolfe, inside 50 for Lauderdale. Launceston again with the numbers. Alec Wright, the umpire said Harry Richmond's taken him high, perhaps a little unlucky was Richmond.
He was stiff there, Harry Richmond, did everything right, tried to collect his own footy. He's probably a bit stiff there from the umpire. As the Blues now get this one out through Joby Harper, the captain. What's he going to do with the footy now? He's going to drive this one directly. He tried to anyway, but Sam Tilley with a good smother on the mark. The Blues get it back through Joe Groenewegen, who's taking a mark in front of Sam Stiggins. Not a great handball by the big man, but it's going to be mocked up well by a teammate. It's come out now to Casey Brown. So his teammate there for company. Good tackle applied there by Raglione. So Bombers have numbers now. And the footy's Nat Franklin. So good to see him back in the lineup today. Good tackle applied there by Sam Tilley. Good to see him also play the last couple of games in this Lauderdale outfit. Obviously switched his time between the Tassie Devils and the Bombers. So with the COVID shutdown in Victoria, he's played a lot of the back half of the year for his side in Lauderdale. He's a pretty good operator, is Sam Tilley. So we've just ticked in the time on now here in the second quarter. It's a 45-point lead to the Blues, but can Alan Christensen get this footy forward and try and get the Bombers' first goal on the board? Going to drive this long. Who's there for the mark? Stanley's at the fall of the ball. So Sutton off the deck. It's cut off though. Good handball out to Ed Stanley. Tyler Martin almost gets that off the boot. Harry Richmond's there. Can he get a tackle here? He can. So there's still a chance here. The Bombers, Reece Sutton's there. So's Christensen. What can he do? Alan Christensen from the boundary line. That's going to be something special. It is. So Alan Christensen, it took a while. Took to the 21-minute mark of the second quarter, but if we had to wait that long for something like that, it was worth the wait because that was terrific there from Alan Christensen.
Magnificent finish, just showing all of his class, Alan Christensen. And you're dead right, Ryan. If the goal, we had to wait that long for the goal, it was certainly worth it. They hit the scoreboard now in style to the Lauderdale Bombers, and I think that's reward for effort. They've held up pretty well in defence, and they've started to create some opportunities. And you said when the ball was in the air that it'd be a special goal, and in the end it was never going to make a mistake.
No, I was about to mention him and the captain, Christensen and McGuinness have really gotten themselves into this game in the second quarter. Christensen was lively in that first quarter also, but the move of Coach Dan Willing to shift Josh McGuinness into the guts in the second quarter has been one that's paid off because he's collected a fair bit of footy and he's got his side not into this game completely, but he's had a fair bit of footy, so what can he keep doing in the second quarter?
Great reward for Lauderdale as they look to hit the scoreboard again. Siggins with the ball bouncing towards half forward. Launceston with the numbers though, but the ball's cut off by Francis, who drives it inside 50, looking for a target. Down at ground levels, Christensen again. He's going to draw the high free kick. He's an expert at that, Alan Christensen, using all of his experience. Drew the errant tackle by Alec Wright, and Christensen has a golden opportunity to 2 goals in the space of a minute.
Saw a cheeky little smile there from Alan. So he knew that he drew the high tackle. As we said, he's got a fair bit of experience at the elite level. Good to see him sign on for the next 2 years also in the TSL. So look for his second goal of the day.
Star of the competition, Alan Christensen. Ball is on the way for goal number 2. The umpire forced to work a long way to the left-hand side, through for a minor score, but things starting to happen for Lauderdale as the Blues bring the ball back into play. They drive the ball out of defensive 50, but with the sit there was Reece Sutton, who's going to quickly bring the ball back inside 50. Finds Ed Stanley, a great mark, and Reece Sutton, he had one player free in the middle of the ground. 3 or 4 Blues tried to converge in, but in the end, Ed Stanley held his ground and took a strong grab.
This has been really good from the Bombers in the last 3 or 4 minutes. You know, their intent's been there all day. It's just when they try to get that footy forward, but it started to pay dividends now. Their effort's been there. Now the skills are matching it here.
So Ed Stanley had a look early in the first quarter. Now an opportunity for him to kick his first of the afternoon. In the end, just kicks it into the man on the mark. A nice smother there by Bowen Pearce. Launceston still not quite out of danger though, as the ball's bumbling around inside their defensive 50. Palfreyman with his socks raised high gets the handball over the top. Puts his teammate under the pump as Christensen, his handball just misses the target. A strong tackle laid there by the Lauderdale player and Rolfe on Palfreyman.
A really good tackle there by Billy Rolfe.
Just a few words being shared between Tyler Martin and Jamison House. 2 players that certainly happy to impose their size on the contest, as House is going to compete in the ruck against Siggins. In the end, neither ruckman got anywhere near it. So the ball's kicked off the ground about 90 centimetres, and it's going to be another ball up from the same spot inside attacking 50 for the Bombers. So 1 goal to Lauderdale in this term, 2 goals to Launceston. I think from here, if Lauderdale can kick a second, they'll be at least feeling like they're starting to make things difficult for the Blues, as the ball's just hacked along the ground by Sam Tilley. Jay Blackberry's going to be first to it, really clean, kicks the ball out of defensive 50, finds his target there in Sam Foley, and now the Launceston Blues are looking to attack. Foley's kick goes up to half forward, overrunning it was the Launceston player. Oscar Shaw wrapped up in the tackle, that mullet just rolling around in the mud, and in the end the Blues are rewarded as they drive the ball inside 50. Who's there for Launceston? The answer's Jack Donnellan. Takes a mark on his chest. He's been asked to play on by a couple of his teammates, but he's going to back himself in. He's the number 31 for Launceston. Kicked the second goal of the afternoon. He's got a chance to kick his second for the day.
Yeah, just on that previous play there, he was always in trouble there, Oscar Shaw, and he went to ground and he kind of waited for a whistle. He didn't really make any attempts, so good work there by the Blues to apply the pressure and get a quick kick inside 50. Give them a shot on goal.
So Jack Donnellan looking for his second goal of the afternoon. This would be a bit of a stinger for Lauderdale after having the momentum the last few minutes. It's a bit of a wobbler from Donnellan, but it doesn't matter. It's straight through the big sticks. He kicks his second. And Launceston get the immediate response to the Lauderdale Bombers. They move to 7-10-52. Lauderdale 1-8 as we tick over 25 and a half in this second quarter.
Yeah, definitely not what they wanted, the Bombers. They've had a pretty good quarter here at Windsor Park in the second. Makes it 3-1 now. So they've been able to control the scoreboard pretty well here in the second after pretty inaccurate, we should say. Launceston controlled the majority of that first quarter. So they don't want another one late here in red time. The Bombers, if they can get one themselves to cancel that last one out, and please Coach Dan Willing. As it's a 52-8 lead for the home side. Get another throw up here from the umpire. Wigan and Smith go up. Smith wins it down. Goes out to McGuinness, who gives it to Heavey. He kicks forward. Good mark taken there by Billy Rolfe. Good to see him back in today. Not a great kick though. Richmond's there. What can he do with a footy? He's good on the deck as he's with his hands. Sutton trying to get it out to Heavey. The Blues will repel here. First man in the footy, he's going to be Johnny Blackberry, but the siren beats him. So that is the end of the first half here at Windsor Park, and it's a lead of 7-10-52 to visiting side Lauderdale 1-8. Anthony Osborne, pleasing signs there in the second quarter from Lauderdale, but the Bombers still hold a pretty comfortable, the Blues I should say, still hold a pretty comfortable lead here at half time. Yeah,
Lauderdale, the effort really can't be questioned. They worked incredibly hard in that second quarter, and a bit of magic from Alan Christensen found the Lauderdale Bombers hit the scoreboard for the first time, and an immediate response from Launceston, courtesy of Jack Donnellan, will certainly sting as the Bombers head into the main break. But as you said, the effort's been there from Lauderdale. Launceston, though, just a little too classy, taking a strong lead into the main break. As we take a quick look at the goal kickers, Christensen, as I discussed, just the one goal kicker for Lauderdale, courtesy of a miraculous goal from the boundary. For Launceston, Jack Donnellan and Brendan Taylor, both with 2 goals, singles courtesy of Zach Morris, Jake Smith and Jay Blackberry. I feel like the guys like Sam Siggins, Josh McGuinness are really starting to get their hands on the football in that second quarter. But again, Launceston, I think Jamison House across half-back has been a bit of a behemoth. Alec Wright's had plenty of the football. Those guys just seem to have every response to any challenge that Lauderdale throw at them at the moment.
Yeah, every time the Bombers seem to get a bit of momentum going, it's always cut off by probably that half-back line of the Blues. So that'll be an area of concern, I'm guessing, for Coach Dan Willing at the main break. And if they can kind of, as we said, they moved Josh McGuinness, the captain, into the middle of the ground. So that was a pretty good move by Dan Willing, because we know what a smooth operator he is. He got his hands on the footy, and as we saw last time these two sides played, he was shifted from, I believe, defence into attack in the last quarter and kicked 6 goals. So we know that they've got aces up their sleeves to work with when they face the Blues. So I'm sure there'll be some moving of the magnets at half-time by Dan Willing and his coaching staff, and if the Bombers can come out and, I guess, put something on the board in terms of what they produced in the last 4 to 5 minutes of the second quarter, they might be able to give them a run for the money in Launceston. Yeah,
and a couple of really interesting little side battles happening at the moment. I feel like that Jaden Hines-Sam Siggins matchup, every time there's a ball up, Jaden Hines is just putting an arm onto Sam Siggins, and I feel like Sam Siggins is working his way through it really well. But this is a great experience for Jaden Hines, who's really impressed with the Devils this year, but getting to really ply his trade in the final round of the season. He's clearly been given a job by Coach Mitch Thorpe, and he's doing everything in his power to execute so far. And as we've discussed, I think this second half for Launceston is going to be all about those young guys who are in the team today mounting their case to not be dropped for their higher profile teammates next week. And I think Mitch Thorpe so far, although they were perhaps letting Lauderdale back into the contest a little bit in this second quarter, he'll still feel like he has plenty to work with heading into the second half.
Yeah, I think one of those guys, obviously not one of the younger guys, but Hamish Leadham, he's probably won that ruck battle today, and he's one that I'm definitely thinking that's going to be making it pretty tough for Coach Mitch Thorpe, considering we know what tall timber they've got to come back in with Cody Thorpe, who's, as you said, Aussie's in the top 10 for the goal kicking for the year. So when he splits his time between forward and midfield, he's a pretty smooth operator, Cody Thorpe. So we said they've got 6 to come back in next week that are pretty much walk-up starts for this lineup. So makes it tough for this side, especially considering it's kind of a dead rubber game for them. So it's more about not obviously as a team performance, but for individuals to kind of stamp their place and cement themselves a spot for that first final. We know it's going to be a pretty tantalising matchup next week against crosstown rivals North Lonnie at Windsor Park for that first week of finals.
We heard Mitch Thorpe, his passion in that first quarter when he was up on the balcony near the commentary box, and we can hear that he is not letting his side rest on their laurels in this last game. They know what Lauderdale can bring to the table, and they want to head into next week's clash against the Northern Bombers full of beans and ready to book a direct ticket to the grand final. So half-time here at Windsor Park, Launceston 7-10-52. They're leading Lauderdale 1-8. We'll take a break here for half-time and bring the second half to you shortly. Welcome back to Windsor Park. The final half of Lauderdale's 2021 campaign is about to get underway up against the Launceston Blues at the Blues Fortress of Windsor Park. And at the main break, Lauderdale with all the work to do. The Blues 7-10-52. They're leading Lauderdale 1-8. So Lauderdale, as we said pre-game, looking to make a bit of a statement, finish the year in fine form by taking the scalp of the frontrunners for the 2021 Premiership, Launceston, who will be taking on their crosstown rivals North Bonnie next week with a direct ticket to the grand final on the line. Ryan Rosendale, what are you anticipating we'll see in this second half?
Yeah, well, as we said, the intent from the Bombers, Aussie, has been pretty good all game, and they're able to get some continuity in that intent going forward in that second quarter. So hopefully, if you're a Bombers fan watching back at the south of the state on the stream, you would hope that you see that same intent here in the second half, but you're also able to see the skill level pick up, and you're able to get some clean ball inside 50, because that's what would be the, I guess, the headache for Coach Dan Willing in the first half.
Question without notice. Ryan, I want you to give me one player from Lauderdale who you're going to keep a close eye on in the second half, and one player from Launceston that, I suppose, from the Lauderdale perspective, a player who, if they're going to get back into this game, is going to have a huge second half. And from the Launceston perspective, a player that you're really looking forward to seeing on the eve of finals footy.
Put me under the pump here, Aussie.
I'm happy to pad for a while, Ryan, while you think about that.
Give me that first one again, mate.
So for Lauderdale, player that you want to see in this second half, or player that you think is going to need to have a big second half if the Bombers are to be competitive towards the back end of this game.
I think guys like Alex Seavey and Reece Sutton probably just need we know they're stalwarts in this outfit. They probably haven't had the, the half that we'd expect them to have. So a bit of a lift from those two guys would be nice, just to support Josh McGuinness and Sam Siggins in the middle. So, and obviously if Hayden Smith can kind of break even with Hamish leading in that ruck battle, that'd be nice to see too.
And then for the Blues, a player that you think is going to have a big impact on finals footy, and one that you're looking forward to seeing in this second half.
I'm a big fan of the big man Joey Groenewegen. So I like he's played predominantly forward today in the absence of Cody Thorpe. So if he can get on the scoreboard and kick 2 or 3 goals, it might give Mitch Thorpe a case to put him maybe play predominantly forward next week and bring Cody Thorpe back into the ruck. So I'm a big Joe Groenewegen mark, Aussie.
We've had some feedback during the break that perhaps we're patting each other on the back a little too much, Ryan, but I want to say well done for handling that under the pressure. I put you on the spot and you did well. Goal kickers to half-time for Launceston. 2 to Brendan Taylor, 2 to Jack Donnellan, singles to Jake Smith, Jay Blackberry and Zach Morris. For Lauderdale, just 1 goal, and that went to Alan Christensen. It was an absolute corker from the boundary line. I'm all set for this second half as we look to get things underway. How do Lauderdale respond against this Launceston outfit? They've got all the work to do to the Bombers as the umpire raises the ball aloft here in the middle of Windsor Park. Joey Groenewegen going up in the ruck against Sam Siggins. Siggins decides to try and take that one himself, unable to quite do so. Christensen just missed it as he tried to kick it off the ground. Hines with the football, a high kick out to the wing. A couple of players converge on the football, emerging with it Launceston as they drive the ball inside 50 with the sit. In front there is a Launceston player. Will Francis doing well, though, to apply the pressure. Nice tackle laid there. Did well not to give away the free kick on the first occasion, nor the second. Excellent stuff there from Tom Ratcliffe of the Lauderdale Bombers, and it's going to be a ball up just on the paint of 50. Umpire Nathan Geeson, one of the best in the business, chucks it up. Groenewegen decisively wins it down. Christensen taken high. He's going to have the first clean disposal of the half for Lauderdale across half-back.
So Christensen now brings this one inside, looking for a teammate there in Tommy Ratcliffe. He gives a little chip kick over. He's made his teammate work for this one. Company there. Casey Brown applies a good tackle for the Blues. He's got the footy now, gives a handle to a teammate. He gives off to Brendan Taylor, who kicks inside 50. That's gone straight to Oscar Shaw for the Bombers. He brings this one wide to Christensen. He's had a pretty good game today. There's Alan Christensen, as we said, kicked that pretty spectacular goal, the first and the only one so far for the Bombers today. So we'll give you a score update around the grounds in a few moments' time. As play on, says the umpire, advantage being taken by the Bombers. So drive this one into the centre of the ground now. The man on, and Matt Franklin didn't want to use him. He wants to go up the line. Not too sure who he was looking for there. It's gone straight to Bowen Pearce. He gives over to a teammate. He kicks inside now, but Billy Rolfe's cut that footy off pretty well. Gives it back inside to Franklin. What's he going to do with the footy now? We know that he's a good user of the football. Not on that occasion, though. He's looking for Harry Richmond. The ball's gone inside 50 now for the Bombers. Cut off there by Sam Tilley. Good work there by the young man. Richmond's got it. He gives a handball off to Christensen. What can he do? Can he kick his second? Show some candy to a few Blues. Tilley gives off to a teammate in Richmond. He kicks forward. A good mark's been taken by Ed Stanley. And he should make no mistake for this one and put through the Blues second, the Bombers second.
Just quickly playing on Ed Stanley, straight through the middle. So reward for effort there for Lauderdale. The Bombers draw first blood in this second half. And Lauderdale, to their credit, started this quarter really well. Plenty of bounce off half-back earlier. And Christensen just happy to, a little bit of a shimmy, a little bit of a shake. And Ed Stanley kicking the first goal of the second half is going to give the side a boost. Yep,
the exact start that coach Dan Willing would have asked for in the sheds at half-time. Some around the ground score updates for you. Third quarter just started at North Hobart Oval. And it's Clarence leading North Hobart 38-32. And we are deep in a time on in the fourth quarter over the road at UTAS, and it's the home side leading 94 to Winorkie 34.
Groenewegen wins it down, but only as far as Nat Franklin, whose kick goes out in the McGuinness direction at half forward. McGuinness laying a really strong tackle, did well not to give away the free kick. Heavey now with ball in hand, wrapped up by a couple of Blues, and it's going to be pinned for holding the footy, so a free kick going the way of the Launceston player in Dowling. You can just hear Heavey wasn't happy at all with the call, and he's going to be penalised. A 50-metre penalty, and Dan Willing will not be happy with that effort there from Alex Heavey. It's going to open the door for Launceston as Dowling kicks the ball inside 50. Doing well there was Jake Smith to get the fist. I'm really liking the mullet on Jake Smith today. A fresh haircut for finals footy. Francis first to the football. Coming in now for Launceston. He's wrapped up in a tackle, so that just deflates things a little bit for Lauderdale. If Launceston can hit the scoreboard here after finding themselves at half-back to inside 50, that's really going to hurt the Bombers. So it's thrown up. Sorry, Rhinus Siggins tries to win it down. Lauderdale again with first hand of the football. It's going to be in a dangerous position here, though, as Harper and Palfreyman go hunting for the football. Palfreyman gets it. Just gets the handball out in time to Harper, who shrugs a tackle, showing all of his strength there was a Launceston skipper. Handball over the top as bodies converge on this football, and umpire Gayson says that he's going to have it as a circuit breaker. The ball up just outside attacking 50.
Yeah, stuck on that one. You see Alex Heavey there on the bottom of that pack, so he's one that will look to replicate that undisciplined act from that 50-metre penalty. Not what you want from one of your stalwarts as Franklin gets that footy out, looks for Rolfe. He goes to ground. He's going to be awarded with a free kick here for a high tackle, a high weight. He's got the free kick now, does Billy Rolfe. Hopefully we'll see him back at the Bombers in 2022 to come across this season. He's had an injury-interrupted year, but when he has been out on the park, he's performed pretty well each week. Billy Rolfe. As the Blues now get this one forward. It's all the Bombers though. Oscar Shaw takes that one unopposed. Uncontested mark to him. Looks for Sutton inside, but it's cut off there. But well played there by Francis. Streams out of that pack with the footy. Who's he kicked this footy to? Straight down the throat of the Blues player. That man is number 22 in Zach Morris. So he's got time now just to work this out, kick forward. He's got Joey Groenewegen there. The big man takes the mark unopposed. So going to have a shot on goal, a bit too far at the score. He's brought that one back inside. Good spot there to Jamison House. That's a terrific play there by the big man in Joey Groenewegen.
Yeah, loved it from Joe Groenewegen, and Jamison House in a dangerous spot. He's a player that we've seen play in all sorts of positions throughout his career. He spent a bit of time over in South Australia, but as a Tassie Mariner would often go in the middle as a big bullocking midfielder, but has really emerged as one of the best key defenders in the state, now with a shot at goal.
So Jamison House doesn't find himself inside 50 a lot. He's found himself here now with a shot on goal. Can he put through the Blues second of the quarter? I think he can. So there is another one on the scoreboard for Launceston. That takes them to 8-10-58. Lead Lauderdale 2-2-14. 6.5 minutes gone here in the third quarter at Windsor Park.
Yeah, nice work there by the Blues, and we can probably draw a little too much from it, but that disciplined act by Alex Heavey at half forward just a couple of minutes ago, all of a sudden that great start to the quarter from Lauderdale has been matched by the Blues. They move to 8-10-58, Lauderdale 2-2-14. 7 minutes into this third quarter. Let's see how Lauderdale respond here in the middle of the ground. Interesting that Siggins seems to have competed in every ruck contest so far, so we have to keep an eye on where Hayden Smith is at as this quarter unfolds. Here in the middle, Groenewegen slaps it down. Of course, the beauty of Sam Siggins is he is basically an additional midfielder for Lauderdale as they hack the ball off the ground here to the Bombers via Heavey. Linking up well, Christensen wrapped up in the Blackberry tackle. Jamison House quickly slaps the ball on the boot as it just bumbles towards half forward. Donnellan in and up and out with the football as he looks to bring the ball inside 50. Just put under the pump as he tried to get rid of the footy. Will Poland's first to it. He links up with Francis. He goes to Shaw. Shaw just drops where he probably should have taken. It enters Zach Morris into the frame, who kicks a minor score. So Launceston with another behind and looking really dangerous inside forward 50.
So Billy Rolfe now got that one from a teammate and he gives back to him. It's deep in defence now for the Bombers. They're going to have to work this one out quickly. Poland, not a great kick to Heavey. That one's cut off by Brody Powerfreeman. He's going to have another shot on goal. He's going to try to put through to Blues second of the quarter. So almost 8.5 minutes gone here. 8-2 lead. And all Lonnie, apart from a little bit of good play in the second quarter by the visitors, Launceston have well and truly controlled this game from the outset. Brody Powerfreeman just has a teammate on and he gives that one to him. So just some brain fade there in the defensive area from the Bombers. They're going to get a shot on goal through number 31 in Jack Donnellan. He'll look for his third of the day.
Yeah, just caught napping there with Lauderdale defence, and a guy like Brody Powerfreeman's always going to be alert to that.
So Donnellan, can he put through his third? Tighter angle than his last two, but I think he's put that one through. He has. So Donnellan has 3, the Blues have 9, and that lead gets extended as we approach the 10-minute mark here in the third quarter. Yeah,
up to a 51-point advantage now for Launceston. They've kicked 2 goals this quarter. Jack Donnellan bobbing up with 3. Really exciting stuff for him and for Launceston. They're starting to flex their muscle. Brody Powerfreeman, I really like that unselfish play to hit up the target. He saw that his teammate had made the most of some bit of a nap, I suppose, from the Lauderdale defence, and they're able to capitalise. And I'm just interested here as you look in the middle of the ground. You can see that Jaden Hines obviously has been tagging Siggins to this point. Siggins now in the ruck.
Yep.
Intrigued to see where Hines goes. He's lined up at the moment up against Sam Tilley, but we'll keep an eye on that as Blackberry gets the football, kicks it inside 50. Morris was there, so too the team out there in Woolley. Now, Brody Powerfreeman's going to be first to the football. Merges with it, dishes the handball off to Jaden Hines. Hines with a bit of space, kicks the ball inside 50. The target at the back is Jake Smith, but punched over the line by Oscar Shaw. Over and out for a boundary throw-in.
Play well today, Oscar Shaw. As we said, the amount of ball that's been in that defensive 50 for the Bombers. Guys like Shaw and Poland have played pretty well so far in this contest.
So unless Hayden Smith has been... Just got to keep a close eye on that.
I haven't seen him in the third quarter, so could be injured. He comes back in now. Blues with a shot on goal. It's not going to get to where the goal umpire is. It's going to fall in front of Joby Harper. Good pressure applied there by Nick Raglione. Comes out and out of Brendan Taylor. He gives off to his skipper in Harper. Joby Harper, can he work something special? He can't. Brody Kingston's there. The ball's out in front of him, but he's got 2 to beat. One of them is Blackberry. He gives off to a teammate. Good tackle applied there by Sam Tilley. Bombers is hoping for a ball up here. Kick this footy deep out of defence and they get the first option they wanted, so it's a ball up. Full-time result for you from Newcastle Stadium. North Launceston Coach Mitch Thorpe kindly interrupts us there. Coach Mitch Thorpe, North Launceston, I should say, back to where my train of thought was, have finished their regular with a pretty commanding win over Glenorchy, 107-36. So all eyes now for North Launceston. Coach Brad Cox-Goodyear, I'm guessing, would be on this game. And then next week, heading into our first final, as we said, the winner of that clash between the two crosstown rivals can book their place in the 2021 TSL Grand Final as Joby Harper gets that one out of the pack, and he puts through his first of the day. And that gives the Bombers, the Blues I should say, their 10th goal of the day, 10-11-71. Plays 2-2-14, so we hit the 12-minute mark in the third quarter.
I think if you were to sum up Joby Harper in a bit of play, it's probably that. Emerges with the football from the pack, just using his strength and his just his footy smarts and his goal sense to hit the scoreboard. A fantastic finish from him. Launceston kick away once again, 10-11-71 to Lauderdale, 2-2-14. Joby Harper just warming into this contest really nicely. So come back into the middle. Lauderdale
trying to get a look, sort of cut in on that Lauderdale bench that we can see now. Trying to see if we can get a spot on the big man Hayden Smith. I can't see him there. He's a pretty imposing figure, hard to miss, so keep our eye out on that.
So back here in the middle, Leadham and supposing ruckman unable to take the ball. Blackberry wrapped up in the tackle. Nice pressure laid there by the Lauderdale player. So umpire Geeson throw it up once again. Leadham competing up against Tyler Martin. Launceston have the numbers, but Lauderdale here emerge with the football as they kick towards half forward, but only as far as the Launceston defender Foley. He kicks inboard to Grant Holt, who's been a little quiet so far this afternoon. Stops and props does Grant Holt. Chips the ball out wide to Jamison House. The umpire says not 15 and played. Tends for Jamison House to play on as he drives the ball up to half forward. Guarding the football well was Zach Morris. Unable to complete the transaction though. Joby Harper comes sliding in and he was taken high. So Harper just in front of the Lauderdale bench. Chips the ball. Finds his teammate there in Zach Morris, who's been impressive again this afternoon. A long kick inside 50. It's a bouncing ball out the back. Brody Palfreyman kicks it off the ground, and he kicks his first of the afternoon. And if it wasn't already, everything's coming up Launceston. The Blues kick goal number 11 for the afternoon, and they advance to 11-11-77 against the Southern Bombers, 2-2-14.
Yeah, they're really showing now why they have been the best team in the comp all year. Obviously, as we said earlier in the call, they had that shock loss to Clarence last week at Launceston Arena by 2 points, and they would have asked for a response early in this game. Coach Mitch Thorpe and his coaching staff would have wanted it, and they've given it throughout this contest. It was there early, 4-goal first quarter. It's been all Launceston from the opening bounce, so it's all Blues so far in this game, and for the Bombers, this last quarter and a half of their 2021 season, they just want a bit of effort and intent heading into next season, something to work from. As Tilly moves his footy out of the ruck, takes his kick away. Jay Blackberry's on the bottom of that pack, gets it out to Tuckhill. He gives a handball to a teammate in Powfim and the goal kicker from just a few moments ago. Good kick there. It's for Smith. Good work there. He's played well today, that man. Definitely being their best so far. Nat Franklin's got the footy now. His return game today. So that finger injury that's sidelining for a majority of the back end of this season. Smith with the footy. He's found a teammate there in Taylor. Well set for company. Good tackle applied. There's a teammate regularly only kicked that one out of defence. It's gone straight to Isaac Hyatt. He kicks inside to Jay Blackberry. What's he going to do? Plays on immediately. Does Blackberry. He's got Harper there. Can't take the mark. Heavey mops up now. Kicks inside. Dangerous kick. It's cut off there by Wright. Good tackle applied there, though, by the Bombers. Blues have the numbers through Dowling. Dowling kicks inside. The boundary line beats everyone. There's 16 minutes gone now here in the third quarter. Score update from North Hobart Oval for you. It's Clarence that have really stamped their authority on that game. They lead that one 8-7-55 to 5-2-32 over North Hobart.
Great news for Lauderdale, seeing Hayden Smith back out there. He competes in the ruck against Hamish Leadham. Just paddled up off the ground by Rolfe, but in the end it's going to be Another ball up inside attacking 50 for the Blues. Smith and Leadham to continue their battle. Neither ruckman able to get a hand to it on that occasion. Bullocking his way through was Morris, but it's going to be another ball up. Rinse and repeat at the moment here at Windsor Park. It's been all Launceston so far this afternoon. Leadham, crafty tap over the back. Launceston again with the numbers. A hurried kick into the forward pocket, but in the end a little too hurried. Out of bounds on the full, so Lauderdale bring it back via Will Poland, who has had plenty of the footy today. A lot of it, to be fair, has been from kick-outs, and in the end he's actually not going to take this football. So Lauderdale bring the ball back into play. Just see there Brody Kingston in defence. Oscar Shaw as well, but in the end the Bombers opt to go further down the line, and it's going to be another ball up just inside the field of play. Smith and Leadham to resume their ruck battle. Smith won it down on that occasion. Hurried kick off the ground there by Harper, but only as far as Nat Franklin. Lauderdale opt to go back. Will Poland, with a little bit of work to do, just gets the kick over to Reece Sutton, who thought about the runner in Kingston. In the end, he opts to go further wide in the direction of his teammate. It was not his best kick coming back in ball. Christensen does well to save the day in the end. Siggins sloops the handball out wide. First to the football's Bailey Gillow. He's crunched in a Draglione tackle. The umpire says it's going to be a ball up. So Bailey Gillow, another one of those players who shown some really impressive glimpses so far this afternoon. So Leadham now up against Siggins. Jaden Hines with the football. Nice pressure there by Tilly. Heavy's at the back of the pack. Kingston at the bottom of the pack for Lauderdale. Really scrappy football at the moment as Sutton just gets the tap over to Rolfe. Now it's going to be Alec Wright emerging with the football. If he can pick it up, he eventually does. Gets it to his captain in Joby Harper. He handballs it back to Brodie Palfreyman, who's been impressive today. A high kick. Sitting under it's Will Poland, who shows great composure to take the mark on his chest, and he'll begin the switch out wide.
So Poland switches that footy to a teammate in Francis. Takes a bounce, just taps someone on the ground, not to risk footy not coming back to him. His fan Christensen has been a bit quieter in this third quarter than he was in the first half. He's been one of their better performers today, as Alan Christensen. Joby Harper applies a good tackle on Sam Tilly. Bounces out of that one though to apply a tackle of his own. They've got the numbers here to the Blues. So what can they do now? I think this game pretty comfortably. Absorb it over on the scoreboard. They'll just extend this lead even further. Clear Rolfe now for the Bombers. This one just in front of us here in the commentary box. Not sure where he's going with that one because of three Launceston defenders against Ed Stanley. It made it incredibly tough for him there. So Joby Harper's got the footy now. So good to see him back out here after this first part of the season with his firefighting training. Good to see the skipper back out. We know what a star he is come finals time. A terrific grand final last year in the premiership win. It's Francis. Short kick looking for Sutton. Good spoil over the back there by Gillow. Comes out to Franklin. He's been pretty good on return today, Nat Franklin. Worked his way into this game well. Tilly slides into that mark. A great kick though, looks for Heavey. Grant Hunt might have been taken without it. Play on, says the umpire. Tuckhill. Kicks that one wide. Joe Blackberry's there. He's also worked himself into this game pretty well. Teammate there. Might have been taken on there, Sam Tilly. Play on. He gets around a few, does Jake Smith, and he puts that through the big sticks. So terrific work there by Jake Smith. He kicks his second of the day. Takes the home side, Launceston, to 12-11-83. Lauderdale 2-2-14.
Yeah, love that from Jake Smith. He's really showing his goal sense, I suppose, in this game. He's got 2 for the afternoon, and Joe Blackberry once again involved. I thought the efforts of those young Lauderdale defenders were really good. It was just that skill execution going back into the middle, and Launceston were always going to pounce. So full credit to the Blues. Jake Smith really showing some quick feet inside 50. He's got 2, and he becomes the 3rd multiple goal kicker so far for Launceston. As we look once again to the middle, it's going to be Siggins against Groningen on this occasion. Was about to be thrown up. Siggins got the rise, but Groenewegen got the tap. Siggins now back at ground level. He just does that every time, Sam Siggins. So, repeat stoppage. Siggins wins that tap down, only as far as Jaden Hines, whose hurried kick only goes as far as Christensen. He links up with Sutton, whose hurried kick towards half forward. It's going to set a bit of a task for both teams here at the moment. Josh McGuinness decides to just dance through the puddles. He's unable to get his hands on the football either. Hurried kick towards Bailey Gillow, back in the middle of the ground. Poland stops, props, waits. Now he's got a couple of runners as Lauderdale look to bring the ball inside 50. Nice little dinky kick finds Christensen. Just one goal so far this afternoon. He looks for a target in the pocket. A lovely weighted kick, but in the end, punched over the line by Bowen Pearce for a boundary throw in. So Lauderdale will be looking to either capitalise from this stoppage or at least lock the ball inside their forward 50. I don't know how many repeat stoppages they've had inside 50. Often the Blues have just been able to bring the ball out at will. So the ball's thrown back into play. Dangerous spot for the Lauderdale forward line. There's a high up and under. Plenty of bodies around that ball. Jamison House had the sit, and Grant Holt, he's definitely been taken high by Christensen. Now lots of players getting involved. Holt's going to look to get a move on and get this game going as he kicks the ball towards half-back. Set to task for his teammates. Sutton capitalises on the loose football. Gets the handball over the top. A flying shot on goal for Lauderdale. Hits the post and a minor score. So Lauderdale kick their third behind of the afternoon. 2-3-15. Launceston 12-11. 83.
So Bowen Pearce, short kick in now. Going to a teammate. With the footy now. Drive this up to the bench side of Windsor Park. Covering just in view there. Alec Wright's got the footy. Gives off to the skipper and Harper. Matthew Brown's there too for support. Oscar Shaw drifted forward now. So Tyler Martin's with the footy now. What can he do? Tyler Martin gets this to the top of the square. Josh McGuinness is there. Christensen, can he work some magic here? He can't. Good tackle applied there by Grant Holt. He gets rewarded with a holding the ball call. A bit of payback on that occasion for Grant Holt. Involved in that one on the opposite side of the back 50 just a few moments ago. Worked his way into the game in the third quarter, Grant Holt. One of the young stars of this Launceston outfit. Played in the premiership last year. Reece Sutton has the footy now. It's been turned over. He drives inside, top of the 50. Harry Richmond's there. He hasn't kicked one today, but he's been pretty lively all game. Ed Stanley just waited. He thought McGuinness might go for it. He came in a bit later. So whistle's being blown. Late there by the umpire. What's he called here? I think it might be a free kick for a throw. So it's going to go to the Bombers. Josh McGuinness puts his hand up and says, I'll take this one. So Josh McGuinness, the captain, it's a pretty good season. In a season that's kind of involved him shifting from defence to attack to midfield. So very much become that utility player, similar to Sam Siggins. You know what a star he is. Spent time with the Brisbane Lions when he was drafted all those years ago. So Josh McGuinness, can he put through his first of the day in the Bombers' third? A great kick off the boot, but it doesn't matter because it's gone straight over the goal umpire's head. So McGuinness gets his first and he kicks Lauderdale's third. He takes the scoreline to 12-11, 83 to 3-3-21.
Yeah, nice finish there by Josh McGuinness. A couple of repeat stoppages inside 50 for Lauderdale, and they're able to capitalise. So full credit to them. They've now got 3 goals for the afternoon, 2 goals in this quarter, as opposed to Launceston's 5. So back half of this term certainly been more promising for the Southern Bombers as we just tick over 25.5 in this third quarter. Back in the middle of Windsor Park. Ground bathed in sunshine this afternoon after some tough conditions over the last few weeks. That ball is going to favour Joby Harper, who's wrapped up in the Siggins tackle. A couple of midfield bulls going head to head.
Did well there, I should say, Sam Siggins, not to take him high, got the arms around the back of the chest, so they played their smart football, Sam Siggins.
Siggins wins it down on that occasion, immediately wrapped up in the tackle.
Is that a pretty pretty, competitive season last year, Aussie. He's had similar numbers to what he had last year when he won the Lynch medal, so pretty underrated season from Sam Siggins in a side that's struggled, especially early.
Launceston with the bounce through the middle of the ground as Brodie Polfreman drives the ball inside 50. A couple of players are there. Jay Blackberry, one of them. This will have the Lauderdale defence really nervous as he applies a bit of pressure. In the end, Will Francis is going to be first to the footy. He's got Sam Foley for company. Blackberry swoops on the ball though, dribbles it along the ground, and he kicks a goal. He has his second of the afternoon, and Jay Blackberry inside 50. It's a recipe for disaster for opposition defences, but it's a sweet taste for the Launceston Blues. They kick their 13th of the afternoon, 13-11-89, leading the Bombers 3-3-21. And once again, Launceston with the immediate response.
Yep, we know what a star he is, Jay Blackberry, and as you said, Aussie, every time Lauderdale kicked a goal, it's only been on 3 occasions today, but straight away there's been a response from Launceston. So, pleasing signs for Coach Mitch Thorpe, sitting at the coach's box next to us. Said they've held firm on the scoreboard all day, had no trouble throughout this contest. Siggins with his own footy down, gets a kick away against Groenewegen. Holt's there, good tackle applied though by Siggins. Christensen's going to get this footy forward now for the Bombers. Right kick, inside 50, but it's going straight down the throat of Alec Wright. He plays on immediately. So he's got an option wide, he does. Had Harper there, but he dropped the sitter, did Joby Harper. He won't be happy with that one. Lee Rolf's got it now. Knocked up there. Siren beats the Blues going forward. So the end of the third quarter here at Windsor Park. And Launceston lead this one pretty comfortably, 13-11 to 3-3. 89 plays 21. Anthony Osborne, it was all Launceston in that third quarter. Yeah,
I thought Lauderdale had a couple of moments there where they at least were able to create some opportunities for the centre, but you're dead right, Ryan. Lauderdale have been outclassed today by the mighty Launceston Blues. They're looking to go back-to-back in season 2021, and to this point of the year, there's no evidence to suggest that they shouldn't be the favourites heading into a tantalising finals campaign. We'll just quickly go through the goal kickers for Launceston. Jack Donnellan leading the way with 3. Brendan Taylor, Jake Smith and Jay Blackberry all with 2 each. Singles to Jamison House, Zach Morris, Joby Harper and Brodie Polfreman. For Lauderdale, singles to Alan Christensen, Ed Stanley and Josh McGuinness. You just go through that Launceston list and there's no big key forward who's kicking all of these goals. You've got Jack Donnellan, who's that classic half-forward sort of player. You've got Brendan Taylor, Jake Smith, Jay Blackberry, who all ply their trade right across the park. Jamison House has come up from defence. This team, this Launceston outfit, have so many avenues to goal, and as we've already discussed a few times, the Hudson medalist, unless there's been a miracle this afternoon where someone kicks 40, hasn't played a game for 2 months now, and he's not playing. He won't be there in finals football due to injury. You've got Cody Thorpe, Braden Pitcher, Jake Hines, these guys who can hit the scoreboard, and this is exactly what Mitch Thorpe would have been after, a really even spread of contributors in the last round of footy heading into the finals. And I think we've touched on that Lauderdale's intent's been really good, and I think this is exactly the game that Launceston would have wanted. This is a tough, hard game of football in wet conditions that is really going to have them battle-hardened heading into the finals campaign.
Yes, spot on. I think it's going to be a perfect appetizer for their game next week against North Launceston. So definitely what they would have wanted in terms of scoreboard pressure, because they've held firm on this one all day. As you said, they're a side that's averaged 17 goals all year, so they know how to hit the scoreboard, and it's pleasing for, it's a sign of a good side when you've got, as you said, you lose Dylan Riley, who was pretty much on track to potentially hit the ton by this point of the year. He was having a fine season before he did his ACL a number of weeks ago. So when you've got a spread of goal kickers like you do today, it's a sign of a good side that heading into a finals campaign where you're going to come up against some pretty good opposition, that you know you've got plenty of avenues to goal and you can kick a big score as they have done again today.
Certainly have. So we'll take a short break here from Windsor Park, just giving you the three-quarter time score. Launceston 13-11-89, Lauderdale 3-3-21. We'll take a short break and bring the final quarter to you after that. Welcome back to Windsor Park. The final quarter coming up here between the Launceston Blues and the Lauderdale Bombers, and the Blues have an imposing lead heading into the final term, 13-11-89 to Lauderdale 3-3-21. It's been all Launceston so far this afternoon. Let's see what Lauderdale can bring to the table in the last quarter as they look to finish the year on a positive note, at least to be nice and competitive in this last quarter, while Launceston look to tune up for finals footy, their campaign getting underway against North Launceston last weekend, with the prize of that contest a direct ticket to the grand final. Ryan Rosendale, what are you expecting to see in the last term?
Yeah, much of the same, I think, Aussie, from Launceston. Interesting to see if Coach Mitch Thorpe elects to just put a few players late in this quarter on the pine and not risk any injury, because he said they've held firm in this contest all day, and even though they've rested six of their walk-up, starting 18 for this last game of the year, they've been pretty impressive so far, especially coming off that loss last week to Clarence in round 20. So interesting to see what Coach Mitch Thorpe has in his back pocket today in this last quarter, because he wouldn't want any injuries heading into a pretty big game next week, where if they get a win against their crosstown rivals, they book a ticket directly into the grand final. So footy's gone back up now. Going forward for the Blues, but it's marked there by Oscar Short, who's also repping a pretty good head of hair there, you have to say. He's had a pretty good game today too, Oscar Short. The amount of ball that's been in that defensive half. He comes just in front of us here on the concrete side wing. Mark's been taken by a Launceston player. So Launceston early game, as we said. They just won 13-11, 89 to 3-3-21 pretty comfortably. No mistake, he'll walk away victors today. Matt Franklin on the bottom of that pack, as he has done for years for Lauderdale. Hines is there. They've been pushing the back balance as the umpire. Good little tap out there, but it goes to Siggins, the man who's been flying company for all day. Good kick inside there by Groenewegen. Christensen might have caught one high there. He's gone down. He's not want to go down easy, is Alan Christensen. Keep an eye on that one. Hopefully he's okay. Kick off the deck. Harper couldn't take the mark there. The Blues have numbers at this footy. Comes out to Casey Brown now. He's got time and space to run into. So the player in the square, that looks like Jay Blackbury. Not been held behind it. It's mocked up there good by Will Poland. Score update for you from North Hobart Oval. Clarence lead that contest 8-11-59 to North Hobart 6-5-41. Colin Garland has put on a bit of a shot. He's 3 or 4 in the last couple of goals. So he's another player that had a pretty big impact come finals time in his first year for Clarence. Is another guy that will have a big impact in the final series, Joby Harper. He's at the footy now. He brings that inside to, as I say, another guy that will have a huge impact, Jay Blackbury. He's going to have a shot on goal to kick his third of the day.
A nice dinky little kick there from Joby Harper, who was involved with Christensen earlier and just starting to really stamp his authority. Joby Harper, he's peaking at the right time of year.
So Jay Blackbury, for his third, as I just said, he's worked his way into this game pretty well. It's the TSL for games played, overtaking Jay Bowden a number of weeks ago. Good mark, almost taken there by the man he got it from, and Joby Harper, but not taken there by the skipper. Umpire's blowing his whistle now. There's going to be a ball up. Look at that mud patch inside the square. So the Blues works the magic here and put one through the big sticks. Add to their Lauderdale's paint. Almost done there by Jack Denellen. Come out to Brendan Taylor. What can he do with a footy? Doesn't come off the boot all that well. Denellen's there. He's tackled by 3 or 4 Lauderdale players. With another ball up. Actually, Reece Sutton there. Getting some instructions for a couple of teammates. He's a smart footy head. Reece Sutton. Good to see also a lot of Lauderdale playing list signed back on for season 2022. Coach Dan Williamson, enjoy the list, is back for next year. This one's gone through further behind. Good prize for deliberate there. So it takes the Blues to 13, 12, 90, 3-3-21. Anthony Osborne.
So Lauderdale to bring the ball back into play. Just looking at that pack there, I reckon stocks in nappy sand around Launceston would go through the roof this week. Don't know if they're a sponsor of these clubs, but they might well be soon. The umpire's blown the whistle. Poland's not going to have the footy. Yeah, plenty of bodies around here just starting to interrogate each other. think Mitch Thorpe will be wanting his Launceston players to steer well clear. You can see Harper and Christensen just continuing their back and forth.
Overzealous there by Jack Allen. He's going to be careful here because
it's back in play. There's a lot going on at the moment, so the umpire's just trying to get this under control, and I think it might be now. The players were trying to play on with the footy.
He might have a free kick out of all of that. So he was
spot on.
Yeah, he came in late on Alan Christensen, and Christensen's been dealt with well because he was the retaliator. So I think it's on again. Here it is. So this could really boil over now. As we said, we don't want to see any Launceston players suspended on the eve of finals. Coach Mitch Thorpe will be scratching his head in the coach's box, asking for cool heads to prevail here because they have got bigger fish to fry come next Saturday. So Jack Donnellan is the man with the footy. As the umpire's blowing his whistle again, he's going to try and get control of this contest now. So Donnellan will look for his fourth of the day, and it's been a pretty impressive performance from this young guy.
Donnellan's always looked like he's marched himself forward, and in the end, it's after all that through for a minor score. So we're only 5 minutes into this last quarter, but it might be a bit of work to do to keep this game under control. As you said, I think the Launceston players would be best set to keep themselves well clear of any indiscretions as Lauderdale bring the ball back out. Siggins unable to quite cast the ball under his spell. That ball's out of bounds. So Johnny Groenewegen there marching inside 50. Might be competing in this ruck duel. Keep an eye here on Siggins as he goes up against Hamish Leedham. Leedham wins it down on that occasion. Straight to Christensen, who's wrapped up in the tackle with Brodie Palfreyman. Another stoppage. Really impressed by the efforts of Jaden Hines today, Roz. I reckon he hasn't had a stack of the footy, but I've loved his endeavour. That one's one down there in the Christensen direction. Siggins has Palfreyman riding shotgun for company. Harper hovering there as well, but umpire Geeson has been forced to earn his money today with another stoppage. So Franklin going to Harper at this stoppage here. Ball's thrown up. Leedham wins it down only as far as Franklin. Palfreyman gets the ball over to Joby Harper, who drives it inside 50. High up and under. Will Poland with a double fist down only as far as Hines. Now to Leedham. Diving in there. This Siggins is going to be rewarded with the free kick. Just copying him a little high there was Hamish Leedham. So Siggins gets to his feet. He's just going to kick the ball down the line. Lauderdale players not quite in the ideal position. Crafty work there, emerging with it Harry Richmond. Wrapped up in the Hines tackle, gets it out to McGuinness. McGuinness links up with Rolfe. And just using his body to smother the footy was Jack Donnellan, who's been mighty impressive this afternoon.
Almost 7 minutes gone here in the last quarter. Have it over at Windsor Park. They'll end their season in a loss, but it's been a pretty impressive back end of the year from the Bombers, considering the start they had under new coach Dan Willing. It's been pretty positive in his weekly press conferences and the growth he's seen in his side in the back half of 2021. So he said most of the listeners signed up for next year, so no doubt the talent they've got in his side, they're looking to rise up the ladder in 2022. So he's come out now. Grant Holt's got it. Makes the mark out in front of Christensen. Coaches in the box next to us shouting instruction. Good mark almost taken by Joby Harper. Mops up his own footy, kicks that one forward. Who's he found? Jay Blackberry's there. Josh Williams has got in for cupping, but he's taken it out at Jay Blackberry. That's smart football there from Jay Blackberry, and he's going to have another shot on goal to put his third through of the day. Joining Jack Donnellan as the only man on the ground to kick three.
Certainly, Jay Blackberry's stamped his authority in this second half. You see there just drawing his hands before having a shot on goal. So this one for the 14th goal of the day for Launceston. See how he goes.
So Jay Blackberry, still up 2021 season. Can he kick his third of the day? He can. That goes straight over the head of the goal umpire. So that takes the home side Launceston a 14-13-97 to 3-3-21 Lauderdale. It's It'll be interesting now, Aussie, to see in the later stages of this contest, maybe around that 15-minute mark, if we'll see guys like Jay Blackberry, Joby Harper just to sit on the pine. As we said, they've got bigger fish to fry next week. Do you think that's something the Mitch Thorpe will look to do? Or?
Look, I think it's probably the percentage play to have. I mean, as a Richmond supporter, I remember the first grand final booking when the game was done, and on the bench it was Cochin, Martin and Curvis, and I think it might have been Revold at the time, or Rance actually, I think it might have been. Just resting those star performers, and obviously they've done that heading into today with a lot of players out of the team, but yeah, certainly wouldn't be surprised as Leadham, Harper, and now Hines combine in the middle of the ground. Hines' kick. Just kicks to space there. Grant Holt's going to be first to it with really clean hands given the conditions. He gets it over to Harper. Harper just able to emerge with the football away from Siggins. Drives the ball to a dangerous position. Jay Blackberry competing at ground level. Somehow emerges with the football. He's wrapped up in a really good tackle. The umpire will take it inside the forward pocket. Nice defensive efforts there by the Lauderdale crew. You can see Josh Williams and Bodie Kingston plying their trade down there at the moment. Groenewegen and Siggins compete in the ruck. Groenewegen wins it down. Had Denellen running through. Siggins was the first to the football though. Rolfe unable to control the footy. Jay Blackberry dives in, tries to emerge with the footy. Playing a bit of dodgem cars there was Jay Blackberry, bouncing off one, bouncing off the other, but wrapped up in the tackle. So another stoppage deep inside the Launceston attacking half. Rolfe tries to emerge with the football, but Joe Groenewegen wraps him up in the tackle. Poland with the football, looking for his teammate there in Tane Suki, but unable to quite control the footy. Going to have a boundary throw in, left forward pocket.
So this has been blown now with the umpire. High tackle. So very disappointing act there. It might have been from the Bombers. So shot on goal coming up. So I think it might be Jack Denellen again. So that one doesn't go back to him, but the umpire's going to let that one slide. So Jack Denellen's the man with the footy. So a few shots on goal here in the last quarter. Hasn't been able to put one through. He's kicked 3 so far in this game. It's one of his most impressive is that he's able to put this one through from a tight angle in front of his home side there. We see enjoying quite a couple of cold beverages in the shade of the club rooms. So Jack Denellen, slow approach now. For his 4th of the day. I think that's gone through. It hasn't. So another behind there to home side in Launceston. It takes them to 14-14, 98, 3-3-21. The Bombers bring this one back out now to Christensen. A fair bit of footy today. He's played well. He was lively in the first half. He's gone a little bit quieter in the second. He's plenty of footy, there's no doubt about that. McGuinness now the captain. A great kick by his standards. Rolfe mops up though, and he does well there, Josh McGuinness, to rectify his mistake. That's gone straight down the throat of a Blues player. Comes out to number 21 in Isaac Hyatt. He kicks forward, it's cut off there well by Poland. Found a teammate there in Raglioni. He's got Christensen on here. He can get it to him quickly, he can. He's been taken high. He was, so free kick now to Alan Christensen. He had McGuinness on for company, elected to go inside 50 with a kick. Looks there for Ed Stanley, can't take the mark. Tyler Martin's there, what can he do with the footy? It's going to go down the throat of Jamison House. So he's going to stream out now of that defensive 50. Groenewegen's there, can he take a mark? He can't, it's cut off by Poland. So Will Poland kicks short to Josh McGuinness. And often you see him alone in the attacking half of the ground. So he's going to line up here and try to produce a big bomb. He's got Hayden Smith in the square. Good to see him forward. So maybe an injury that's preventing him from being in the ruck is being put forward by Coach Dan Willing. Groenewegen now for Launceston. Kicks forward. It's cut off there by the Bombers. Back inside now to Francis. Got another teammate wide. Well played there. So that's Steinbauer. He kicks forward. What did Lauderdale do here? Still searching for their first goal of the last quarter. Good link-up play here by the Bombers. They've got a kick on goal through Steinbauer.
Great work rate by Steinbauer. He was the one who found Lincoln Arnold and then was able to get inside 50 and present again. So really hard-working effort there by the youngster.
So the Bombers, for their Sure he's got the distance. Not all too confident there, but I think he's going to go in for a shot now. Benjamin Steinbauer, can he put through his first and Lauderdale's fourth? He can't. Christensen might have kicked that one off the deck. I think he likes it. Terrific play there from Christensen, so he kicks his second. Not as good as his first, but it was still pretty miraculous goal that. The umpires are going to chat about this one. I think it's going to be all clear for a goal. No, it's not. So, bit of controversy there. We don't have the art of having it TSL arc Aussie, so we both thought it was a goal, and it wasn't, we should say. So it's 4-3.
So through for a minor score. So Launceston trying to emerge here. Palfreyman has the ball on the wing. He links up with his teammate. Now they're going to drive the ball inside 50. Launceston again with the numbers.
So Poland now picks that footy up. Francis is there for company. What can they do now, the Blues? Palfreyman's there, gives off to Smith. Well played here, Taylor's there. He's going to kick this through for a goal. He is. So no pressure there at all in defence for Lauderdale deep. And all the options there, and they kick one there through Brennan Taylor. So that takes them to 15-14, 104. Lauderdale 3-3-21. So was that scoreboard correct now? So we both thought that was a goal to Alan Christensen, Aussie. The umpire disagreed. So 15-14, 104 Launceston to 3-3-21. Got a question for you coming, Aussie, just on those outs we had today. Do you think with the 6 outs that they had, those are all walk-up best 22 starts, do you think that Mitch Thorpe brings all 6 back in if they're fully fit and available?
I think he has to.
Yeah.
Musica, Seymour, Thorpe, Jake Hines, Miller Hodge and Jacob Boyd, they're all walk-up starts and have all probably earned a rest. They've put in serious shifts this year as Palfreyman emerges with the footy out of the middle of the ground. He drives it inside 50 and Grant Holt really stood up in this second half. He dishes it off to Jake Smith. He kicks to a dangerous spot, just goes through Jay Blackberry's hands. Diving there was Bodie Kingston. Desperate stuff. Punches it through for a minor score. But yeah, back on that, Ryan, I think they have to. The real challenge now for Mitch Thorpe and the selection committee is who you take out. And I don't think we're in the business now of trying to decipher those names. But I think it's going to be a seriously tough week for Launceston. But the good thing is he knows he's got the depth there in case any injuries do emerge at the business end of the year. It's a hurried kick, goes inside 50. Blackberry provides some attention to Oscar Shaw, trapped up in the tackle. I think Oscar Shaw's season shouldn't go unheralded either. He's been excellent.
Yeah, he has. He's been a rock in defence. Definitely be too many calculations, I'd say. Oscar Shaw, one of those unheralded defenders that walk out there each week across the TSL. They don't get the love they deserve, defenders, a lot across footy competitions across Australia. So there's one we like to give a bit of attention to, Oscar Shaw.
And that's sort of think a guy like Miller Hodge and Jacob Boyd, those sort of players for Launceston probably don't get the plaudits more broadly, and they're just consistently doing their job week in, week out. Siggins' hurried kick just bounces through everyone there. Josh McGuinness is going to be first to the footy. He opts to let his teammate Sam Tilley swoop on it. He now goes to McGuinness, a loopy handball over the top, just a chain of hands on the outer side here for Lauderdale. In the end, it's going to be a push in the back, I think, was the first call.
Not too happy with that one.
So free kick going the way of Martin.
You're not to lose that one there.
Just directly in front of the Lauderdale bench. Kicks towards half forward. In the hole there was Arnold. Unable to quite complete the mark, but he recovers well, kicks it to a dangerous spot. Raglione should run in onto this and kick a goal. He bounces around one. Nick Raglione snaps it around the body and kicks his first of the afternoon. Lauderdale now kick goal number 4. So Raglione kicks his first. He was a long way from his usual defensive post, but was able to hit the scoreboard, and nice positive play there from Lauderdale. It was a fair bit of work, but they were able to move the ball from one end to the other.
Yeah, good link-up play, as you said, Aussie, to be able to work that up forward. So, kick their first of the last quarter here. The Bombers takes them to 4-3-27. Score update for you from North Hobart Oval. Clarence currently lead that game in the 16-minute mark of the last quarter, 11-13, 79, 7-8-50. So, looks like the Roos are going to walk away with a win there, and that'll was already sewed up third spot, but they'll definitely finish third on the ladder and walk into a home final next week against the Tigers in what will be a pretty mouth-watering clash in a do-or-die elimination final. Someone's season will be ended next week under the clearance of the Tigers. The Tigers obviously have the bye this weekend, so they'll be fresh and ready to go. Trent Brimler, who's had a pretty good year in the coaching box, saw some stats last week where they've had 16 or 17 players play the majority of games all year, so he's got a lineup that can go out there each week. See why they've had a pretty good year, the Tigers, and will surprise a lot of people. Footy's inside 50 now for the Blues. Comes out now. Siggins is there. He gives off to a teammate in Francis. Not a great kick there. Bit of a dinky little one. Hines is there. He gives back to Sutton for the opposing side in Lauderdale. Mark not taken by Nat Franklin. Tyler Martin's there for company. Forward sits in a puddle of water and mud there, and Siggins gets that through. One-hand mark taken there by Casey Brown. That was pretty good. Figures off the Powerful who streams the kick inside 50. Jay Blackberry. A little bit of body work there. What can he do? Can he get one forward here? Well played there, though, by Josh Williams. He's had Jay Blackberry for company, so thought he might get pinned. He has, so played pretty well in this last quarter, Josh Williams, with the amount of ball that's come Jay Blackberry's way. And he's going to look for his third of the day. It's been a pretty good last quarter. Jay Blackberry makes no mistake, so he kicks his third.
Fourth, I think. Fourth for Jay Blackberry.
So I've robbed him of one there, Jay Blackberry. Shouldn't do that because we know what a star he is. So Jay Blackberry kicks his fourth. That takes Launceston to 16, 15, 111 to 4-3-27. And he's worked his way into this game pretty well, Jay Blackberry, Anthony Osborne.
He has, yeah. He's been so dangerous down there, and he probably put himself in the prime position to take that initial grab. Obviously didn't quite complete it in the end, but just have a look at there. All those Launceston players streaming back through the middle to get back to defence. It's been that sort of game with the ball locked in at one end, but I think the structures that Mitch Thorpe has in place at the moment with Lonnie are certainly impressive. And this afternoon, 16, 15, 111 to 4-3-27. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I'd love to know how many times the Blues have topped the ton in season 2021. It feels like it'd be almost every week.
We've averaged 17 goals all year, so
mathematically that would be getting you into the hundreds as well. So back in the middle, Launceston again emerge with the footy. Smith out wide finds Casey Brown. Brown is going to drive the ball towards half forward. A couple of targets were there at the bottom of the pack. Brendan Taylor wrapped up in a couple of tackles by Lauderdale players and does well to hold things up. So ball up just outside attacking 50 for the Blues. Brendan Taylor with 3 goals so far this afternoon. Umpire Geeson throws it up, tap over the top. Lauderdale players are everywhere here as Reece Sutton uses the outside of the boot to try and kick for some distance. Alec Wright's there, but in the end Harry Richmond is first to the footy. He links up with Sam Siggins, who kicks the ball towards half forward. Ed Stanley, who's had flashes throughout this game, does well to regain the football, kicks it in the Alex Heavey direction, unable to take the grab as Isaac Hyatt merges with the ball. Rebounds from defensive 50 to Grant Holt, who's had a really strong second half. Holt out wide to Groenewegen.
Groenewegen now slows his footy down. He's going to kick directly up the line. Which he found there. He almost found a teammate, but it's a good spoil by the Lauderdale defender. Nat Franklin's worked that out. So, ball on the deck now. He's made a good attempt there, so the umpire says my footy. So, kicked in a time on now, 22 and a half gone. 111 plays 27. It's going all but over here at Windsor Park in round 21, the last round of the TSL season before the finals kick off next week. There'll be one in the north of the state and one in the south of the state. So wherever you are, you'll see some pretty good TSL action. Both games will be live on the stream. As Sutton now stops and props, gets around one, gives back to Christensen. He gives over to a teammate in Luke Patton. But it's the Blues now that have got the footy. Kaufman's got it. It's a kick just in front of us here in the concrete box to Jay Blackberry, who's had a pretty stellar last quarter. He's had a lot of the footy. 6-4 in this game. Kaufman gives back to Jay Blackberry. What's he going to do? From 50, gives a quick kick over the top to Brody Powerfreeman. He's going to have a shot on goal.
I think that's something that has really held the Blues in good stead today is their prime movers like Blackberry, like Brodie Palfreyman and Casey Brown, when he has had it on the wing, have been hitting their targets.
Yep.
There's been a couple of kicks from Jay Blackberry that he's really just massaged the football in the direction he wanted to go, and in tough conditions, that's the thing that separates the good from the great. And guys like he and this man, Brodie Palfreyman, have certainly been that today.
Yeah, that first one in the first quarter over to Hamish Leedham sticks out in the mind. So Brodie Palfreyman kicked one already today, and he kicked his second late here in the last quarter. That's going to work through the big sticks pretty well there to Brodie Palfreyman. He kicks his second, and the Blues 17th of the game. So they hit that average they've done all year. So 17, 15, 117. That's 4-3, 27. I think the more interesting stat Aussie would be in terms of the goal kicking, how often they're able to hold teams under that 6, 7, 8 goal mark. Because I'm pretty sure all year there wouldn't be too many teams, maybe North Launcestons or your Clarences last week, that have kicked any more than 9 or 10 goals against a Launceston side.
Yeah, spot on, Ryan. A really good observation. I think you're dead right. The defensive aspect of this Launceston side is not to be unheralded. I know the conditions have been tough today, but the defensive efforts have once again been first rate. Guys like Jamison House, Alec Wright, they've been really impressive. And just looking, I'll get you to call this, but I will get the ladder up and try and see if we can see the for and against so far for the Blues in season 2021.
I'll leave it with you, Aussie, as the footy's back out now. It's going to be the Blues that propel into attack from the defensive half. So Smith brings that one back inside. Not a great kick, but it's cut off there by Franklin. So and the Bombers put another one on the scoreboard. McGuinness is going to get the handball off, but he elects to kick this one inside 50 now. He's got Stanley and Christensen there. How long Christensen's going to win this footy off the deck? Can Stanley kick that one through off the deck? He can. So good bit of soccer work there from the double duo in Christensen and Stanley. And Stanley is going to put through, I should say, his second of the game. So that takes our scoreline now to 5-3-33 Lauderdale. To Launceston 17, 15, 117.
Probably not the best time to bring that up after Lauderdale just kicked a goal, but Launceston have averaged 49 points against this year. So they've kicked, heading into this game, their for column was 2009 and they're against 827, so averaging that out, 49 points against per game in season 2021.
Quick maths from you, Anthony Osborne. I like that.
The iPhone calculator may have got to work out wrong.
I'm glad you did that, not me, because we'd be sitting here long after this game had finished if I was going to try and work that out. I've embarrassed myself in front of a live audience. So.
The iPhone doesn't have the calculator app, or what's going on?
No, well, I tried to pump you up there, mate, and I didn't think you'd need a calculator. I thought that might be just the one that you would have done in that big brain of yours, but good to see you've owned up to not being as intelligent as I thought you were.
No, big score, not so much big brain, as we're back in the middle of Windsor Park. 26 and a half gone. So Lauderdale's season only with minutes remaining now as Leedham brings it all down only as far as Sam Siggins. Siggins' kick is going to be a big ball to win. Casey Brown emerges with the footy as he drives the ball right inside 50 for Launceston. Doesn't quite approach the 50 line. Tilly and Gillow go toe-to-toe. It's Tilly to Heavey. Kingston unable to quite complete the transaction. He does do well applying the pressure with the corresponding tackle, but it's going to be a ball up just between the centre square and attacking 50, attacking side of the wing for...
Sorry, Aussie, to jump in there. See Joby Harper on the bench for the Blues. So you think his day might be done?
Yeah, just put him on ice, I reckon, if I was Mitch Thorpe, as Heavey emerges with the football. A floating kick towards the middle of the ground. House tried to kick it off the ground, unable to quite make contact. Umpire's whistle, so another ball up. So Lauderdale Bombers missing out on finals footy again in 2021, but plenty of young talent coming through. They'll look to reload next season as Gillow emerges with the footy, gets it out wide. Launceston with the numbers around this stoppage as Hyatt kicks it down the wing. Jaden Hines has been impressive this afternoon. He's been a key part of the Devils program throughout the year. And that's it. The siren sounds. And the siren sounds on Lauderdale's 2021 campaign. They go down to the Launceston Blues in a tough outing for them this afternoon, but Launceston's season is only just beginning. Launceston, they win this game 17-15, 117 to Lauderdale, 5-3-33. quickly run through the goal kickers and then we'll get your thoughts on the contest. Ryan Rosendale for Launceston. Jay Blackberry kicking 4 goals, including 2 in the last quarter. Jack Donnellan and Brendan Taylor with 3 each. Jake Smith with 2. Brodie Palfreyman with 2. Singles to Zach Morris, Jamison House and Joby Harper. For Lauderdale, Ed Stanley kicks 2. Alan Christensen 1. Josh McGuinness 1. And Nick Raglioni also with a single. So curtains are drawn on Lauderdale's campaign with a big loss today to Launceston, but the Blues, they're only just getting started.
You're right, Aussie, they are only just getting started. It's been some sort of year, just the 2 losses in the regular season, 1 to North Launceston and that 1 to Clarence last week. So despite resting 6 of their walk-up best players this week, they've come out and they've had a pretty strong performance today. 12 scoring shots to 1 in the first quarter was pretty much all she wrote from then on, because 4-8 was 4-8, 32-0-1-1, so it was a pretty damaging first quarter, and then the third quarter where they kicked 6 goals to 2. So when you've got guys, as we spoke about at that 3-quarter time break, that can hit the scoreboard and have such an even spread of goal kickers, even when you're not having guys like Dylan Riley, Cody Thorpe, Braden Pitcher out there that have featured in the top 10 of the goal kicking all year, I'm sure that Mitch Thorpe will be pretty happy with that performance today, especially considering they've rebounded strongly from that loss last week.
Yeah, and you're dead right. I think 4 goals, 8 in the first quarter. Then at half-time, 7 goals, 10. They've finished with 17 goals, 15. So they've kicked 7 goals, 10 in the first half, and then have kicked 10 goals, 5 in the second. So I think the ability for them to actually make the most of their chances as the game went on has really resulted in the scoreboard properly reflecting the game itself. But full credit also to Lauderdale. They kicked 4 goals in that second half after just 1 to half-time. The intent was there. They were just outclassed by a stronger outfit today, but they'll only be better for the experience. So I'll get you to run through a couple of, don't have to give votes or anything like that, Ryan, but just a couple of standout players from the Launceston side of things, and then I can have a look at Lauderdale for you.
No worries. I thought, where's my man? Jake Smith, I thought he was pretty impressive throughout that first half. He probably drifted late in the game, but he really set them up forward of the ball early. Jay Blackberry, as we spoke about in that last quarter, had a really good working his way himself, I should say, into the game pretty well, so he finished with 4. I thought Hamish Leadham really is going to cause some headaches for Coach Mitch Thorpe during the week, because I thought he quite convincingly won that rush battle against Hayden Smith today. So it's going to be interesting to see if he can hold his spot in the side, because we know that Joey Groenewegen is probably the number 1 ruckman in the side. So it's a battle between obviously Hamish Leadham and Cody Thorpe for that second tall spot. Jack Donnellan finished with 3. I thought he was pretty good today, and Brendan Taylor, when the ball was inside 52, he finished with 3. So multiple goal kickers around, and Brodie Palfreyman also should probably get a mention. He was pretty good throughout the centre of the ground, wasn't he?
Yeah, certainly an even spread of contributors for Launceston. For Lauderdale, I thought the defensive unit did hold up pretty well considering the amount of ball that was down in there. Will Poland got plenty of the footy. Oscar Shaw, I just love him as a player, to be honest with you. I'm unashamed in saying he's one of my favourites in the comp. He always puts in 100%. Thought he was pretty impressive again today. Josh McGuinness worked his way into the game, as did Sam Siggins. Probably not at their absolute dominant best, but I thought they were both more than handy. Ed Stanley had flashes inside 50 where he looked dangerous, while it was great to see Harry Richmond get his hands on the ball throughout the game, and Nat Franklin to get through, we assume, unscathed after a really rough trot with hand injuries. It was impressive for him to get through the game the way he did and provide that midfield support. Alan Christensen also did look dangerous, but in the end, these players all played a role, but in the end, if you were to divvy out the best 15, 20 players in the park, the majority of them were going to be Launceston guys.
Yeah, no, they had a pretty even spread across the day. So, as we said, heading into their first final next week, looking to obviously go back-to-back this year. So they've been the best team all season. That's why they finished on top of the ladder. And we said they walk into a final next week against cross-stand rivals North Launceston in what I'm guessing, Aussie, will be pretty tantalising battle. And if you're in the north of the state, you'd be pretty silly not to get down and watch that one live.
Absolutely, yeah. Big weekend of finals coming up with the Northern Derby, and then also Clarence and the Tigers taking each other on in the south of the state. But in terms of the 2021 regular season, that's all she wrote. We're finished for season 2021. It's been a pleasure bringing this game to you from Windsor Park. Thank you to our camera operator and Ash Wilkes in the studio. Ryan, been a pleasure calling alongside you today.
Pleasure as always, mate. Really looking forward to finals next week.